start shooting at the screen at.
Yeah.
Shooting at the movie screen.
That's bad.
Man. Okay, Israel, shalom, shalom, shalom. Slakia, we were supposed to start 15 minutes ago, but we kind of got tied up. Hope everybody's doing well. Shout out Kyle Cobb and Sword of Truth family, Guatemala, Atlanta, Georgia, brothers and sisters in California, and Amiyataza in London, England. Hope everybody's doing well. Brothers and sisters also in Canada, Montreal. Hope everybody's doing well. Yeah. Also, Stream of Wisdom, shalom. Brothers and sisters out there in Houston, keep fighting the good fight. Brothers and sisters in Rochester, New York, and in Norfolk, Virginia. Hope everybody's doing well today. We're back on our Sabbath zone, and we're going to sit back here. We've tried our best to sit back here and clearly paint this era. I know it feels like we've been in like 2 Kings, 1 Kings, Jeremiah and Ezekiel for a long time, but you got to understand this last part of the class is like a 22-year span that you have to go through. So this isn't just we're going to just graze through. We don't believe in Sword of Truth, San Antonio, just to sit back here and just graze over information and just keep things light. We want to take the marrow out of every class and story as much as possible to maximize clarity and understanding. That's why we take the time we take. It's not about just rushing through the classes just to rush through it and say we actually read the Bible. We want to make sure we give people time to understand what these scriptures are about. Okay? So, yeah, we're not going to the topic yet, but we're going to. So I just wanted, that's our little intro. So we're going to get into the prayers first and then do our class. So let's get started. Imagine Wapanya, Yerah Shalom.
Stand and face Jerusalem.
That's just us. That's just us. That's just us. Barakatah Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai.
Barakatah Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai.
Hahawa. Nathanawa. Awar. Sayawam. Thawada.
Aman. Bless you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai that gives us light this day. Thanks, so be it.
Barakatah Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai.
Barakatah Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai.
Hahawa. Nathanawa.
Rayak.
Nayakaka. Thawada.
Aman. Bless you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai that gives us sweet savor. Thank you, so be it.
Imagine Wapanya Yerah Shalom.
Stand and face Jerusalem.
Barakatah Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai.
Barakatah Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai.
Hahawa. Nathanawa. Hashabat. Bashalom. Thawada.
Aman. Bless you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai that gives us the Sabbath in peace. Thank you, so be it.
Psalms 121. Anasha, Ayanyamya, Ahoya, Maaya, Yabu'a, Isaiah, Yabu'a, Ma, Yahweh, Sha'aisha, Shemayim, Wa'aratiza, La'a, Yonathan, Lamawat, Regalia, Yala'a, Nawam, Shashamaya, Hana, Yala'a, Nawam, Wala'a, Yishan, Sheshumar, Yashua, Yahweh, Shemaya, Yahweh, Tazalia, Al, Yanyamya, Yad, Hashemash, Yala'a, Hakaya, Bayawam, Wala'a, Halabana, Walayala, Yahweh, Yashemaya, Makol, Right, Yashemar, Napasha, Yahweh, Yashemar, Habalakya, Wabu'aya, Ma'aitha, Wa'ai,
Amen. Psalms 121 in English. I will lift up mine eyes into the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Yashala shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth, and even forevermore. Amen.
Amen. Israelite Credo. Shema Yasharala,
Shema Yasharala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Eloheinu,
Eloheinu,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Echad.
Echad.
Shema Yasharala,
Shema Yasharala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Eloheinu,
Eloheinu,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Echad.
Echad.
Shema Yasharala,
Shema Yasharala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Eloheinu,
Eloheinu,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Echad.
Echad. Israelite Credo in English. Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our power is one Lord.
Okay. Lord's Prayer. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemaya, Kodesh, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh, Malak Wavka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Haya, Aisha, Bar Rataza, Kawa, Haya, Bashema, Nethalano, Lachom, Ko, Yawam, Wasalachano, Chawathino, Chasalachano, Chawathino, Wala'a, Tabiano, Benasawan, Abo, Hawashano, Mayan, Right, Kaya, Laka, Hamarakwa, Waha'ala, Wahatapa, La'ai.
Amen. Lord's Prayer in English. Matthew chapter 6 verse 9. After this manner therefore pray ye, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen.
Amen. Ten Commandments. La'ayahaya, Laka, Alahaya, Achaya, Ayo, Hanya.
Thou shalt have no other powers before me.
Number 2. La'a, Tha'ina, Laka, Fasal, Wala'a, Tha'ibada.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, nor serve them.
Number 3. La'a, Thalach, Sham, Yahweh, Bashawa.
Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy power in vain.
Number 4. Zakar, Hayawam, Hashabat, La Kodashwa.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Number 5. Kabad, Abaka, Ya'amaka.
Honor thy father and thy mother.
Number 6. La'a, Tharatazat.
Thou shalt not kill, murder.
Number 7. La'a, Thana'a.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Great. La'a, Thaganab.
Thou shalt not steal.
Number 9. La'a, Tha'ina, Shakur.
Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
Number 10. La'a, Thachamad, Ko, Asherah, La'raika.
Thou shalt not covet anything which is thy neighbor's.
Baruch Yahweh Hashem Yahushai.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives us the law.
Okay, Israel, you shot me.
Everybody seated?
All right. Like we had said earlier, we're getting towards the end of our saga in the Kings and Chronicles. And we're kind of crescendoing it with Jeremiah and the details of Jeremiah and Ezekiel. But we're here at the end, and we're at the point where King Zedekiah had crossed the line with King Nebuchadnezzar to the point where they're at the point where they're making a decision to finally end Jerusalem. And the Most High has made a decision at this point that there's a point of no return, there's no turning back. It's time Israel to hit rock bottom. And now we were already a vassal state. Now we're going to get reduced to a no state, and to an impoverished, broken state that's just in exile. And as we've gone over, I think ad nauseum, we went into their idolatry, our rebelliousness. There were prophets, we just didn't listen to it. The leadership and the people were too concerned with their selfish interest, making money, maintaining their power, and this was it. So we're going to go into the besieging of the nation, and then if there's time, I doubt there'll be time after that, but next week we'll kind of go into like what happened to the remaining people. Okay, there were still people left after the besieging. But today we're going to deal with the besieging of the people. So, first verse we're going to go to is Ezekiel 24, verse 1 and 2. Okay, we got to cry. Let's get you in. Spark.
Kariah, Shashamata, Banashah, Banyashala.
Kariah, Shashamata, Banashah, Banyashala. Emerging. Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Brakatah.
Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Brakatham.
All right. So, let's get to Ezekiel 24, verse 1 and 2.
Come. Ezekiel, chapter 24, and verse 1. Again, in the 9th year, in the 10th month, in the 10th day of the month, the word of the Most High came unto me, saying, Son of man.
It says, the 10th month, 10th day of the month. This was December 10th, 588 BC. It was when all the wheels fell off, and it was time to go ahead and invade and besiege Jerusalem. Okay, read on.
Verse 2. Son of man, write thee the name of the day, even of this same day. The king of Babylon set himself against Jerusalem this same day.
So, this day is etched in history. This was the beginning of the end. This is when they actually besieged Jerusalem. Okay? We talked about this briefly last week. But this is when the whole process started of the fall. Okay? Let's continue. We're going to let this verse go. We're going to Jeremiah chapter 21, verse 1 through 14.
Come. Jeremiah chapter 21 and verse 1.
Okay?
The word which came unto Jeremiah from the Most High, when King Zedekiah sent unto him Pashur, the son of Melchiah.
Now, this is a different Pashur that we read in Jeremiah chapter 20, and it was at a different time period. There was a previous Pashur that was sitting back here and was plotting to get Jeremiah killed because of the words he was teaching in the court of the temple. This Pashur is another man that's under Zedekiah, that Zedekiah commissioned to come and meet, to sit back here and discuss if the Most High was going to look after us, because they got intel that the Babylonians were on their way to establish the besiegement. Okay, so this is a period right before they entered and established the besieging. Read on.
Come. And Zephaniah, the son of Maaseh, the priest, saying, Inquire, I pray thee, of the Most High for us. For Nebuchadrezzar, king of Babylon, maketh war against us. If so be that the Most High will deal with us according to all his wondrous works, that he may go up from us.
So the crazy thing is this. They're trying to find out, the leadership class in Jerusalem, through the order of King Zedekiah, is the Most High with all his wondrous works now going to come through for us. The crazy thing is the pride and ego that out of that statement. The confidence, the overconfidence that these men had in thinking the Most High was going to look after them, even though they just, for the entire time, was rebellious, tapped into idolatry, tapped into wickedness. When they just thought the Most High and his wondrous works would sit back and gloss over all the sin, all the rebellion, and just still take care of us. That's how we think. We think the same way. We think we can sit back here and live sinful, be selfish, be full of pride, and have this confidence that the Most High is going to take care of us. It's a scary overconfidence that we really need to learn to eliminate in us. We're inconsistent as hell when we walk around here and we think the Most High got our back,
Yeah.
the only thing that we can do to assure the Most High has our back is to eliminate the sin out of us. That's where our confidence comes from. But we walk around like the Most High's got our back because nothing has happened catastrophic to us yet.
Mm-hmm.
And they're about to find out that their luck is run out. The scary thing is the Most High gives you time to make mistakes until he stops giving you time to make mistakes. And you just don't know. And the crazy, the Most High, he didn't give them a time at this particular time, but he gave each reign, Jehoiakim and Zedekiah, 11 years to figure it out.
Jeremiah was in stocks, chains, eating dung cooked cakes.
Well, that was Ezekiel.
Ezekiel.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But you figure all these things, and now they want to inquire of the Lord.
Yeah, are we not going to wear shackles?
Yeah.
This guy was rocking shackles for 22 years. What do you think that was for? But they know he's the guy with the answers. You got to go and find out.
Yep. You get one scripture on that. Psalms chapter 50, verse 16. 16 and 17.
Psalms 50, you said.
Mm-hmm.
Psalm 50.
Mm-hmm.
God.
16.
16. Psalms chapter 50 and verse 16. But unto the wicked, the Most High saith,
That's the Most High speaking. He's talking to the wicked. Read on.
what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth?
Why you want to talk about what pertains to me?
Yep.
Now all of a sudden, you want to know my opinion. Now all of a sudden, you want to know my thoughts. Now all of a sudden, you're saying, you're requesting that I answer for you or to come to your rescue.
Yep.
Read on.
Seeing thou hast hated this instruction.
It says, seeing that what?
Hatest instruction.
You hate instruction.
You hate-
Now all of a sudden, you want godly instruction?
And protection.
Yeah, you want godly protection, but you hate instruction. You've been hating instruction the whole time, but now all of a sudden you want an answer in a prophecy. You want a prayer.
You want good to come your way.
Yeah, you want an answer from the Lord. You want some good news, some good luck to come.
Yeah.
But that's our people. We hate instruction the whole time, and then when something bad happens, that's when we call on the name of the Lord. And he said, seeing that thou hatest instruction, read on.
And casteth my words behind thee.
He said, you've been casting my words behind your back like like I don't matter.
And you know what the Most High's words always are? Accountability, repentance,
Yep.
change. What we want to hear is good news. We want to hear everything's going to be okay.
Then we want to hear I could change at my pace.
Yep.
I could change when I'm ready. And the Most High, I expect the Most High to deliver me out like I got a ace of spade in the deck. You know, I can just pull this card out at any time, and the Most High just gonna save me. And that it doesn't work like that.
Okay.
So he said, this is what the Most High says. He tells the wicked, you've been casting my words behind your back, but now you want me to come through for you. And a lot of times that's what happens. You know, we want the Most High when it's too late. You can let that go.
That's
It's all facts. Let's keep going. You got more some? You got some more some?
No, that was it.
Psalms what?
50 and 16 and 17.
Okay.
Jeremiah,
Let's go back to Jeremiah. Let's get
verse 3.
Let's get verse 2 again.
Okay, come. Jeremiah chapter 21 and verse 2. Inquire, I pray thee, of the Most High for us, for Nebuchadrezzar, king of Babylon, maketh war against us. If so be that the Most High will deal with us according to all his wondrous works, that he may go up from us.
Everybody knows how good the Most High can be. Everybody knows how wondrous he could be. But nobody meditates on how the Most High can bring terrors. Because that's what you got to be conscious of to, I guess,
Keep your conscience clean.
keep you conscious and to keep you fighting and to keep you trying. So this is what's going on, and we just didn't want to listen to the cons and the urgency that prophets were giving this entire time. But now it's time. Give me verse 3.
Verse 3. Then said Jeremiah unto them.
This is before Jeremiah is actually put in jail for the umpteenth time. He's free to roam right now. So this period of time is as they are incoming to besiege it. or they're starting to besiege it. It's not specifically clear on this. Well, let's keep going.
Come. Thus shall ye say to Zedekiah, thus saith the Most High, power of Israel, behold, I will turn back the weapons of war that are in your hand.
Whatever he says, when it says the weapons of war, whatever you've planned to use, whatever weapon, whatever tool, whatever ally you have set up to defend yourself in this situation, it's not just weapons of war like bow and arrows and anti-besieging weapons. It's like you saw right now. Has all these anti-air defense scenarios and all this weaponry to protect against nuclear strikes and all this and this and this. Whatever your plans are, whatever their plans are in Israel, whatever our plans are to neutralize possible issues that might turn bad in our life. This is why we always talk about prepping and saving and overly saving. There's only so much you can get from that mindset. Because the most one wants to take it away, can take it away. And you still have to rely on him. So, read verse 4 again.
Come. Jeremiah chapter 21 and verse 4. Thus saith the Most High, power of Israel, behold, I will turn back the weapons of war that are in your hands, wherewith ye fight against the king of Babylon.
Whatever you use. You've got allies. Zedekiah has been trying to use the allies of Edom, Moab, Tyre and Zidon, Egypt. Everybody they've been trying to, Ammon, they've been trying to create this League of Nations to protect them from a possible onslaught of Babylon. Read on.
And against the Chaldeans, which besiege you without the walls. And I will assemble them into the midst of this city.
So this gives the answer to the question. They're already besieging. They've already started. But nobody's hungry yet. They've whatever they've planned, their provision levels. Obviously, if they knew they were coming, they start setting up provisions to last for a period of time. He says, listen, Most High is going to let these Chaldeans that are besieging you actually enter your territory. It's going to happen. Your worst fears are going to happen. Read on.
God wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
That's
he
that
was.
mentality we go with.
Yep. Because you know why? Because we operate 30 or 40% good with 60% wicked. We think that ratio is valid. It's just the truth. Read on.
Verse 5. And I myself will fight against you with an outstretched hand and with a strong arm.
Wow.
He says, I'm going to fight against you. Not only are the Chaldeans going to fight against you, I'm going to fight against you. That means you're guaranteed to lose. That's saying you're guaranteed to lose without saying you're guaranteed to lose.
Yeah.
I am defending Babylon, and these Chaldeans were already known as being vicious warriors. I'm backing them, and I'm going to sit back and make sure they get the job done. Right on.
Even in anger and in fury and in great wrath. And I will smite the inhabitants of this city, both man and beast. They shall die of a great pestilence.
He says they're going to die of great pestilence as well. I mean, there's going to be disease that's going to ravage the city. They're going to invade. There's going to be disease. There's going to be all type of pestilence and difficulties that's coming to you now. Read on.
And afterward, saith the Most High, I will deliver Zedekiah, king of Judah, and his servants, and the people, and such as are left in this city from the pestilence, from the sword, and from the famine, into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar.
You know what's crazy? The people that he really has a problem with, he ain't going to get them sick and kill them off. You're going to sit back and see loved ones die. You're going to see friends die. But I'm going to save you to the end where you got to face King Nebuchadnezzar face to face. So you're going to sit back here and go through months and months of hunger, depravity, sadness. You're going to break. Your spirit's going to break. Then you're going to sit back and meet your end. This is how the Most High gets you, man. A quick death is merciful. A quick death is how the Most High shows love. This is going to be an agonizing, long, drawn-out process. They said the besieging was 18 months. That's a long damn time, man. Living on rations, seeing people you care about sick, seeing the people around you moaning and wailing and crying and sad, and they're looking at you like it's your fault. The entire city. Listen, once again, I don't know if you've seen these images of people in Gaza holding their babies. These people are truly heartbroken. That ain't fake, bro. That ain't fake sadness. These people are sitting back here broken, sad, losing hope. They're holding babies in their arms. I mean, it's depressing. You got to see that for 18 months? Diseases and famines. And then you see your end? Let's keep going.
And afterwards saith the Most High, I will deliver Zedekiah, king of Judah, and his servants.
You had brought this out last week. If we can read this one more time. Lamentations chapter 4, verse 9.
4, right?
Mm-hmm. Lamentations chapter 4, verse 9.
Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 9. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger.
Wow.
As I said, it's better to die a quick death than to die that slow, agonizing, withering away death. You know, at least with the sword, you know, you die quickly. You know, your death is quick.
Yeah.
But that slow famine where you getting starved out and you resorting to eating straw, and you eating leaves,
you eating shit.
You eating whatever you can find.
Yeah.
You know, he said that's a worse death. Read on.
4:9.
It says, for these pine away.
It says for those that die that slow death, he said they pine away, and you get the definition of pine because you know it's showing how the Most High instituted it. It says to pine, to languish, to lose flesh, or wear away under any distress of anxiety of mind, to grow lean, followed sometimes by away. So another definition, to languish with desire, to waste away with longing for something. So you waste away looking for hope and there is none.
Yep.
And then you watch yourself and everybody else have no hope. And then and be in desperation where there's no answers. He said that's a worse death than just getting killed with the sword by the Babylonians.
Kinda.
Read.
Says, for these pine away, sticking through for want of the fruits of the field.
Go ahead.
The hands of the pitiful woman have sodden their own children.
And
Crazy,
to sodden means to boil.
Boil like.
He said the pitiful woman resorted to doing what?
Sodden their own children.
And boiling their own babies.
Yes.
That is not right at any time. That is not right at all. That's a curse to have to do that. There's no justification in that. Yeah. But it just shows you that people quickly will resort to extreme measures when they're wasting away. They eat any damn thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Even their own kids, which shows you the extreme nature that the Most High will drag out the punishment, and how slow He'll drag out the punishment. How hungry must you be to even think that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Read on.
But did you finish verse 10 yet? Yeah. Keep going.
Says the hands of the pitiful woman have sodden their own children. They were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people.
Showing you what the women was eating.
You know, that 18-month period, this lets you know that was how long it took to completely break the people. It took 18 months. It might take 20. And how many months did it take for us to get broken?
That's a good question.
How long does it take for us to sit back here and operate in this form of desperacy? Keep going.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
Verse 11.
No, before you go to 11,
you want to? Yeah,
I want 3. I want 4. I actually want 4. And I want 5. Because that was what we went over there last week also. Read that.
Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 4. The tongue of the suckling child cleaveth to the roof of his mouth for thirst.
Listen, and this, if you're the king and you're sitting back here and seeing babies crying and you know it's crying out of starvation and hunger and there's nothing to eat, these suckling children are cleaving to the roof of their mouth for thirst. Read on.
The young children ask bread, and no man breaketh it unto
The
them.
crazy thing is these mothers must have thought that killing them was doing them a better service than letting them sit here and starve and die. I'm not justifying it. I'm not saying it was right. But how desperate of a situation was it? There was nothing to feed your children. And they're just yelling and crying and just despair in the entire city. Read on.
Verse 5. They that did feed delicately are desolate in the streets.
The ones who were wise, started out, saved up, didn't sit back here and operate overboard. They measured their food, they budgeted things down. They're sitting back here desolate in the streets as well, with nothing to eat either.
All the preppers.
All the preppers were struggling. The Most High is going to stretch that prepper to their limits. You know how easy it is for a prepper to get invaded and get his prep stuff taken? You know how easy it is? You think hungry people ain't looking for preppers? They going for the preppers.
They looking for the cachet.
All they're looking for is a little smoke in the horizon.
Smell of
Some
something.
chicken cooking out. They're getting them out. They're getting them. You ever see Walking Dead? Everybody wants to know where the next camp is, right? They're like, hey, friend, how you doing? Who you with? You ever see them like the early Walking Deads out there? Like, where you going? Oh, nowhere. We're just walking. We don't have any camp. Because if you tell them where your camp is, they come and find. It's the truth. Everybody's scavenging. They're dirty. Their faces are dirty. Their teeth are have 5 films of yellow on top of it. They just want to eat. They've been eating people. They want something fresh. They want what you got. But I don't know if you ever saw the movie with Viggo Mortensen. It was called The Road. That was one of the scariest movies I ever saw. The Road by Viggo Mortensen. The Road.
Was it Road?
It was The Road. And it was about a father and son who were surviving the apocalypse. Everything died. The water died. Water was black. Vegetation was dead. And these people were sitting back. Him and his son was looking after his son, and they were just surviving cannibals. It was the most despairing, sad, post-apocalyptic movie you can watch. And the father slept one time. He slept. He went to sleep. He was tired. He woke up, and all his shit was taken out. And he's sitting back here trying to find out who took his shit out. And there was another guy that was scavenging, took his stuff out. It was just bad. And the father was taken and got taken to this house where it was like a dungeon. And they took the people that are old, they slaved them out. They put them downstairs in chains, and they would bring them up and cut parts of their body and cook parts of their body. So there were people downstairs moaning. They had one leg, one arm. It was like that, bro. It was the worst movie you can imagine. It was just a family upstairs just munching on hands and fingers and arms and kneecaps and calf muscles. That's how life was. Point is, I'm not going to go all super crap. I think I already did. But when you're sitting back here looking at when a city is besieged, it's nothing but hopelessness. Robbing, stealing, killing, eating people. If you're eating children, you're eating people. Cannibalism was at a rise. This wasn't the first time this happened. Yeah. But read verse 5 again.
Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 5. They that did feed delicately are desolate in the streets. They that were brought up in scarlet embrace dunghills.
So even the rich were broken. Even the royalty was broken. It hit all the way to the top. The rich, the royalty, were end up doing these same depraved things, these deprived decisions, these desperate decisions. Okay, now we jump to verse 11. That was your verse.
Yeah, you can't eat no trophy. You can't eat no Academy Award.
No, you cannot.
You know what I'm saying? That ain't gonna feed you.
It's not.
Super Bowl trophy ain't gonna feed you, man. Go ahead.
Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 11. The Most High have accomplished his fury.
And some people will think, well, now, why would the Lord do that? Why would the Lord let things get this bad? Because obviously, people have been neglecting the Most High for a long time. Yes. So this is the eventual decision that the Most High will go to when you've turned your back on him all your life. And then when he's fed up, then this is when people go into real desperate situations, when the Most High is fed up. And you cause to provoke the Most High, his anger and his fury against you, then these are the kind of conditions that happen in the land. Now we know the scriptures say all things were written aforetime was written for what?
Learning.
Our learning. And the Most High said he requires that which is past. So it's not, we're not out the red to say, hey, we will never see these times. You know, we can't be so naive and green to the fact that, hey, we may experience these type of circumstances. You look at all the laws of the Most High that are broken on a regular basis, and how much fury and anger the Most High has against us, even in this nation. We might end up seeing these kind of conditions right here.
Yes.
So we got to take this as not just a story in a book, but we got to look at it and say, hey, man, we got to ensure that we can do everything in our power to not cause the Most High to get this angry, to cause these situations to where we see this in our day and time.
And what do we have to make more changes in ourselves to make our path in serving the Most High more secure?
God. You had your hand up?
Nah, yeah, I was going to say, that also goes for the people that don't know a lot about the Most High. He give them a few stripes, though. They still going to get it regardless. You know what I'm saying? That's just my point I just wanted to bring out there.
God. That was it.
You want to go verse 11, right?
Yeah, he's in verse 11 right now. He finished verse 11.
Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 11. The Most High have accomplished his fury. He have poured out his fierce anger and have kindled a fire in Zion, and it have devoured the foundations thereof.
He said he had rooted out the foundation thereof. So
that wicked foundation.
Yeah, all social levels, man. All social classes, from the highest to the poorest, to the rich to the poor, they got rooted out.
Yep.
They all had to experience the Most High's fury. That's it.
So let's get back to Jeremiah 21. So this is what Jeremiah is telling Zedekiah and the leadership is about to happen as the Babylonians are besieging and encircling Jerusalem. Okay? So, give me verse 8.
Come. Oh, yeah, finish 7.
Okay, finish 7.
Come. Jeremiah chapter 21 and verse 7. And afterward, saith the Most High, I will deliver Zedekiah, king of Judah, and his servants, and the people, and such as are left in this city from the pestilence, from the sword, and from the famine, into the hand of Nebuchadrezzar, king of Babylon, and into the hand of their enemies, and into the hand of those that seek their life. And he shall smite them with the edge of the sword. He shall not spare them, neither pity, nor have mercy.
Read on.
And unto this people thou shalt say, thus saith the Most High, behold, I set before you the way of life and the way of death.
And this is the situation. He has shown us, he showed them and he shows us the way of life and the way of death. And we chose death. For 22 years, they can't say that a prophet wasn't amongst them. That's what the scripture always talks about. You're going to know that a prophet was amongst you. And then when everything falls apart, you're going to say, damn, Jeremiah was right about them shackles he was rocking for 22 years. He had been telling us his day was coming.
When he did them little army men set up with the
Ezekiel, yeah.
When he did the little besieging, he said set up the clay.
Yeah,
and the clay and the clay men and the clay soldiers.
Kind of. He said this is going to happen. All the things he said were happening. Ezekiel was getting word from it, whether the Spirit was teleporting him to Jerusalem to see it, about what was going to happen. Word was getting bad. They already knew the Babylonians were leaving. They saw the soldiers. Word was out. The hit was in. So, let's continue.
Verse 9. He that abideth in this city shall die by the sword.
He's like, man, but this is a death sentence, huh? They've already surrounded the city. He said, everybody that didn't get out is going to die. Everybody that doesn't get out is going to die. Think about this also. Before they besiege a city, right? what did they do first?
Turn off the
Before
water.
Jerusalem, yeah, that's true. But before Jerusalem was broken, what did they have to do? What did Babylon have to do first?
Cut trade routes.
They had to cut out all the cities adjoining it or surrounding it. Like Lachish was a fortified city as well. It just was way less fortified than Jerusalem because it was on a hill. They broke Lachish, and they broke all the surrounding Israelite cities. Jerusalem wasn't the only city in Israel. There was farmland that was there. There were other southern kingdom cities that got trampled as they were besieging Jerusalem. So those people were getting killed too. We're focusing on one city. All the southern kingdom cities were getting wiped out. This was an annihilation of the nation. So other cities were getting wiped out and just killed. Jerusalem was getting starved out and had to suffer longer. Okay? So let's continue.
He that abideth in this city shall die by the sword, and by the famine, and by the pestilence. But he that goeth out and falleth to the Chaldeans that besiege you, he shall live, and his life shall be unto him for a prey.
So he's going to be a servant. He said, if you leave and you give up, you will be a servant. Meaning you're going to be a prey. That means you're not going to be the predator. You're going to be the prey. So you're going to be a second, third class citizen like the people in Babylon, that as the Israelites in Babylon are. If you stay in, you're going to die and suffer. So Jeremiah was telling them what? Give up and open the doors up. Give up, and you'll be a servant.
This is a better move.
But who wants to do what? This is still about breaking pride.
Yeah.
You want to give up your pride and just be a servant? Zedekiah, take off that purple.
They're like, no,
Take off that scarlet.
no.
Take off that gold. And wear some common folk clothes. You don't come in the hood with us. This is what Jeremiah is saying. He's talking to the royals. Read on.
Verse 10. For I have set my face against this city for evil, and not for good, saith the Most High. It shall be given into the hand of the king of Babylon, and he shall burn it with fire.
And he also said, when you open this door, the kings aren't going to get spared. That was in verse 7. He said, if you open the door, the people will get spared, but you're going to feel it. You're going to die if you open these doors. This is what Jeremiah is saying. Do you give a damn about the people enough to give up your life so that everybody else can get spared and have food? Most High is still trying to see where's your heart at. Do you have any compassion for your people? Am I right or wrong? He said the leadership is going to die. But the people will be spared and they will be the prey. Read on.
Verse 11. And touching the house of the king of Judah, say, hear ye the word of the Most High. O house of David, thus saith the Most High, execute judgment in the morning, and deliver him that is spoiled out of the hand of the oppressor, lest my fury go out like fire, and burn that none can quench it, because of the evil of your doings.
Bro. He's saying, what did this? Read verse 12 again. What did we read in verse 10? He said, I have set my face against this city for evil, and not for good.
God.
It shall be given into the hand of the king of Babylon, and he shall burn it with fire. Okay? So he said, listen, he's going to burn this up. I'm going to read verse 9. He that abides in the city shall die by the sword, and by the famine, and by the pestilence. But he that goeth out, and falleth to the Chaldeans that besiege you, he shall live, and his life shall be unto him for a prey. He's like, go out and give up. And you read down, he says the city is going to get burnt with fire. Mm-hmm. The city is going to get burnt regardless. This is over. Jeremiah is saying it's over. The only question is how many people you salvage at this point, knowing that it's over. Are you going to salvage these people? Or is your pride not going to let you do that? Jeconiah didn't have his pride. Jeconiah sat back here and opened the gates, and he minimized damage. Same thing with Jehoiakim. He opened the gates, and he minimized damage. But both of those kings either were killed or put in slavery. And that's what Zedekiah is facing. You're like, man, if I open these gates, I'm done. I'm done. But the people get saved. What should I do? Do you really love your people or not? Let's keep going. Verse 12, right?
Yes, sir.
Read that.
Jeremiah chapter 21 and verse 12. O house of David, thus saith the Most High, execute judgment in the morning, and deliver him that is spoiled out of the hand of the oppressor, lest my fury go out like fire, and burn that none can quench it, because of the evil of your doings. Behold, I am against thee, O inhabitant of the valley, and rock of the plain, saith the Most High, which say, who shall come down against us? Or who shall enter into our habitation?
He's saying, I'm against the people, the nation, the leadership that doesn't think that their city can be broken, that doesn't think that their city can be besieged, that has a false sense of security about the Heavenly Father looking after them. Read on.
Verse 14. But I will punish you according to the fruit of your doings, saith the Most High, and I will kindle a fire in the forest thereof.
So listen, this is bad news that Zedekiah and Pashur don't want to hear. They don't want to hear this at damn all, but they're stuck having to eat this.
Yeah.
So next one we're going to go into is Josephus. Nagaha, let's get you on this Josephus.
Nagaha, Shah Shabbatah, Ban Shemai 1, Ban Yashala.
Nagaha, Shah Shabbatah, Bashemai 1, Ban Yashala. And much of Rup, Yahweh Bashem Yashabrakatah.
Yah Bashem Yahushua Brakatham.
So we are in Josephus, book 10, chapter 7, paragraph 3. We're going to read like 3/4 down in the paragraph.
Josephus, book 10, chapter 7, paragraph 3, page 273. Line 108. Now when Zedekiah had preserved the league of mutual assistance he had made with the Babylonians for 8 years, he brake it and revolted to the Egyptians in hopes by their assistance of overcoming the Babylonians.
So once again, this is really what's happening. And the Babylonians picked up on the fact that obviously the Israelites stopped paying their dues. They stopped paying their tariffs and their taxes and their tribute. And they obviously sent their money to Egypt. So they gave their money to Egypt in hopes that the Egyptian army would come up here and protect them. We read earlier how the Egyptians had started working their way through the Levant again and reestablishing the Levant since the Babylonians had to deal with some wars and fighting amongst the Medes back in their home area. So as they were occupied back in their homeland, Egypt recaptured a lot of the land in the Levant, and it gave the Hebrews the idea that Egypt would sit back here and protect them. Okay? So now that Babylon catches wind of this and realizes Egypt's up to their old tricks again, and the Israelites, now they're besieging them. Continue.
When the king of Babylon knew this, he made war against him. He laid his country waste and took his fortified towns and came to the city of Jerusalem itself to besiege it.
And this is just what I said earlier. They didn't just take Jerusalem, they took all the fortified towns surrounding Jerusalem. They took all the little cities in the south. So they were already getting taken and getting shipped back to Babylon. So the whole south area that we were once inhabited, we were getting defeated left and right.
You have a map by chance on that?
I do not. maybe I have a map in general that shows just the southern, just Judah and their cities. Let me see. Just a map of Judah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. I know I do of in the past. Yeah, that works. This will work. I'll put it on. 1 second, y'all. I just gotta put this image on. So we can kind of see different cities in Judah that got taken. Half a second, y'all. That's not the one. Is it? No, I didn't see those people. This one. This is the one. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sometimes when you expand this image, the picture gets bad. Let's see. Okay. Okay, you see where Jerusalem is. It's Jerusalem, Jericho. That's like the close to the northernmost part of the southern kingdom. When Babylon came down there, they took Lachish was like the second most fortified city. Lachish is closer to Philistia and next to the word Judah, okay, on the map. So they took Lachish out. They took Bethlehem. They took Hebron. These were all Judite cities and towns. Libnah. These were all Judite cities. So they took all of these surrounding cities, and Jerusalem was left. Okay? Mm-hmm. So we got literally wiped out completely off the map. Okay? And this is what's happening. So read the beginning of paragraph 3 again, sir, if you can.
Paragraph 3. Now when Zedekiah had preserved the league of mutual assistance he had made with the Babylonians for 8 years, he brake it and revolted to the Egyptians in hopes by their assistance of overcoming the Babylonians. When the king of Babylon knew this, he made war against him. He laid his country waste and took his fortified towns and came to the city Jerusalem itself to besiege it.
So once again, that's exactly what we're saying. Multiple Judite and Benjamite towns were wiped out. Jerusalem was the only one left. Read on.
But when the king of Egypt heard what circumstances Zedekiah, his ally, was in, he took a great army with him and came into Judea.
So listen, that king was King Hophra. King Hophra realized, hey, my guy is in trouble. Let me sit back here and send my force to help my guy in Israel. Okay? So the two kings that were in alliance with Israel, the first was Semanticus, the second, which was we talked about last week. And this one that was living at this time was Hophra, Hophra. He was sitting back here, and he came up with his army to sit back here and try to subdue this situation. Okay? Read on.
He took a great army with him and came into Judea, as if he would raise the siege.
So what's happening is he's working his way up. The king of Egypt is working his forces up to protect the Hebrews. This is what all that money was spent for. Was for this financial investment was to get Egypt up here and save the day. Okay? And all these verses we read last week about in Isaiah about trusting in chariots and horses. This is what they trusted in. We're besieged. Egypt knows Hophra's bringing his army. They're going to come and fight these Babylonians. They're going to run off, and we're going to be saved. Okay? Read on.
As if he would raise the siege, upon which the king of Babylon departed from Jerusalem and met the Egyptians and joined battle with them and beat them.
So this is the situation. Other writings say when the Egyptians saw the magnitude of the Babylonian forces, they just got the hell out of there. There's certain writings that say they didn't even fight. Egypt brought their force, and they said, man, these guys is ready, man. Y'all really want to do this? Y'all really want to put it on the line for these Hebrews?
You know, they're mercenaries. They're hirelings.
I Oh.
You know, a fighter that's paid to fight versus one that's fighting for his survival.
Yeah.
That's a different kind of fight. That's a different kind of zeal.
Well, even if they are Egyptian, they're not fighting for Egypt.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're not fighting to preserve their own country.
God,
It's not motivating, bro.
hell no, I gotta risk my life. He said, I'm ready to die for this. I'm ready to die. You're like, are you ready to die for this, bro?
You're ready.
You ready to
You're
die
ready
for
to
this
get
battle?
gas so
You know,
the government
they
can get
say-
some taxes.
They say, you know, even boxing, they say it's a hungry man's sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to be in that boxing if you're not hungry, man.
Brother, if you got 20 million in the bank, how many times you want to get punched in the face,
Right.
Before you start doing this, before you just start jabbing and moving,
Yeah.
You know, them fighters. Listen,
not-
there was a fight going on. We had the Feast of Tabernacles, right? I remember that. We were watching. It was Charlo versus the Issachar brother, Canelo.
Canelo.
You knew Charlo was making a business decision. He says, "You know what, man? I'm not getting bloody today. I've lost this fight. It's round 6. My body is aching. I'm just gonna jab and run." He ran for like 5 to 6 rounds. If y'all remember that fight, I'm like, I want to cut this crap off. This is the wackest fight ever. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he was running in circles, Like, he was getting the hell out of it. He was not getting in the corner, and he was just sticking and moving, and he was hitting nothing. He was hitting Canelo's pads, and Canelo was like this.
He was trying his best. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
And it's like, bro, this guy's running. And then Charlie, I fought my best. Like, no, you didn't, bro. You didn't.
And everybody's like this on his court, like this. You got paid though.
Yeah. Listen, you got paid, B. You got your money. Go home. It's okay. Fight somebody listen in.
Yeah.
You can see it. If you saw the fight, you know what I'm talking about. This guy coasted. This guy, when you want to fight, you in here. You're exchanging blows,
Well, you don't want to go back to the projects.
Exactly.
You're going to bang on it.
You're trying to change your whole economic situation.
Well, when you're NBA, whatever the hell name you is, never broke again, whatever your name is, you going to give it a shot.
Yeah.
You going to get here, and you going to take this beating. Because you can't, I'm not going to be broke again. I'm not going back.
My family.
That's a real thing. Those guys, they fight extra like spirit act to fight act.
I get it.
Or you get Issachar from like Jalisco, bro. They gonna do it. It's this, or it's the Chiapas, or it's some damn drug cartel. And you're cutting body parts up and doing all kind of crazy to survive. What do you want to do? Those guys fight. They don't care about CTE. They don't care about any brain. They don't give a damn about that.
Yeah.
They don't care, bro.
That's crazy.
Frontal lobe, nothing. I gotta get these bills paid. Trey got bills, That's what it is,
He said that too.
Yeah.
He's rapping his ass off. Like pay the mortgage.
He had bills.
Rapping for the mortgage.
Read this right here. First Maccabees chapter 3, verse 20. 21.
First Maccabees, chapter 3.
I think,
Let me go ahead and correct.
No, you don't read that.
First Maccabees, chapter 3, verse 20.
Go ahead. Page 117.
Oh, excuse me. Page 117. They come against us in much pride.
It's showing you people fight for 2 different reasons. Some people fight for pride.
Yeah.
Some people fight because their reputation's on the line and they don't like losing. Some people fight for pride. The kind of fight when you're fighting for pride is different when somebody's fighting for another reason. Read on.
They come against us in much pride and iniquity to destroy us, and our wives and children, and to spoil us.
Go ahead.
But we fight for our lives.
See, it's different.
Bro.
It's a different fight when you're fighting for your life and you're fighting for survival versus fighting to say I won and I beat you.
Yeah.
That's a different kind of fight, man. And this is why sometimes the bully get bullied.
Yep.
The bully get beat up because he think I'm a bully, so you're supposed to lay down, and then somebody
you got nothing to lose.
You fight a guy that got nothing to lose. You get tore up.
Yep.
The bully get beat up. You know what I'm saying? He got to swallow his pride. But this will motivate people to fight 2 different ways. Whether you're fighting for pride or whether you're fighting for your life.
Yep.
You fighting for your life. That's a different kind of fight. You're using everything in your possible imagination to survive. And this is why even when you look at third world nation in Vietnam fighting against a first world power with superior weapons, but they couldn't get defeated.
Yep.
That whole Vietnam thing was a stalemate. That was a withdrawal.
Yep.
Because you had these Vietnamese was about 5 foot nothing,
Yep.
living in rice paddies, built tunnels
Living in
underground.
holes, huh?
Living in holes, built tunnels underground,
Rat holes, huh?
and they couldn't be defeated because their fight was a different reason. We fighting to support the French that got beat in Vietnam. We're over there fighting because we're trying to help the French regain their pride back from trying to colonize the Vietnamese.
Frenchies always get beat out.
They get beat everywhere.
Huh?
Yeah, they
Frenchies
always
you gotta
do.
call them the Frenchies, huh?
The Frenchies, yeah. The Frenchies.
The Frenchies get whipped. Listen, the Frenchies got kicked out of Africa.
Yep.
They're the only Edomite nation get kicked out of Africa.
Macron tucking his tail right now.
Listen, Macron was watching Elton John. Macron was watching Elton John concert when his whole kingdom was falling apart. These Frenchies are soft. He was watching Elton John, huh?
And we know Elton John.
We know Elton John is.
Like playing Benny the Jets.
Macron and the Frenchies, they just get pushed around, huh? Anyway, I'm sorry. That's just
Elton John playing the piano with no drawers on.
Yeah.
I just got to throw that out there. That don't even mean nothing. I'm just,
it means enough. It means enough. It means enough.
Grandma shirts on.
Yeah. With glitter, he got a whole lot of glitter on that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
just because he that soft. You know what I'm saying?
We're losing.
But
you said when people fight, certain people that's fighting for determination and survival, their fight is different from somebody that's just fighting for pride.
Yep.
You know?
First Maccabees 3:21. But we fight for our lives and our laws.
So he said now the motivation behind the fight is different. When you fight for your life and your laws, you put more emphasis in the fight versus just fighting for pride. So let that go and go back where we was at.
So now we're here. Hoffer's army from Egypt is making their way up to Jerusalem. So what's happening is, you know what? I don't even want to go into what happened next. I want to go into the rest of the verse and then come back to this. But in the midst of Hoffer is bringing his guys up, Babylon does what? Babylon leaves the sieging location in Jerusalem to come and enter and fight Egypt in Egypt. Let's leave it at that.
So
let's hold off on Josephus. We're gonna figure out what Hoffer and them does later.
Okay.
But as for now, I want to kind of paint the picture about what type of hope now all of a sudden is in Zedekiah's head. Jeremiah said, "Listen, y'all all gonna die." So, but now they sit back and see Babylon leave. So what do you think is going on in their head? The Most High got us. Most High is protecting us. Jeremiah is a lie. The devil's a lie. Most High gonna work out and come through for us.
But there's always a little glimmer of hope if your mind's like wicked.
Yes, you're gonna find whatever you want to justify your belief.
Yeah, false confirmations.
And that's what this is. So let's hold this. We go to hold Josephus, and go to Jeremiah 37:1 through 21.
Okay.
Kariah.
Jeremiah chapter 37 and verse 1. And King Zedekiah, the son of Josiah, reigned instead of Coniah, the son of Jehoiakim, whom Nebuchadrezzar, king of Babylon, made king in the land of Judah.
No. But this says Nebuchadrezzar.
Oh, you serious?
They're always spelled different. It's Nebuchadnezzar, Nebuchadrezzar. It's the same guy, but the ones he's been reading it right. Read on.
Verse 2. But neither he, nor his servants, nor the people of the land did hearken unto the words of the Most High, which he spake by the prophet Jeremiah. And Zedekiah the king sent Jehucal, the son of Shelumiah, and Zephaniah, the son of Maaseh, the priest of the prophet Jeremiah, saying, Pray now unto the Most High, our power for us.
So listen, they already asked earlier in Jeremiah 21, how's this going to look? Jeremiah says it's not going to work. You're going to die. Now he comes back and says, pray for us, Jeremiah. Because obviously the pressure's on, the heat is on, the siege is here. Read on.
Now Jeremiah came in and went out among the people, for they had not put him into prison.
He ain't going to the clinker yet. Like I said in Jeremiah 21. He's still operating around the court. He's teaching people during the besieging. Read on.
It said, then Pharaoh's army was come forth out of Egypt.
You see why I stopped you? Because now we're here at the situation where word is the cavalry's here. Egypt's coming to save the day. Read on.
And when the Chaldeans that besieged Jerusalem heard tidings of them, they departed from Jerusalem.
So when they heard that Egyptians coming from the south, they left their areas to get set up for battlegrounds to fight these Egyptians. Read on.
Then came the word of the Most High unto the prophet Jeremiah, saying, thus saith the Most High, the power of Israel. Thus shall ye say to the king of Judah, that sent you unto me to inquire of me. Behold, Pharaoh's army, which is come forth to help you, shall return to Egypt into their own land.
He said, they came up here, but tell them they leaving. It ain't going to work. This guy's bouncing. As soon as he sees these Babylonians rolling, and the multitudes and the numbers that they have, King Hoffer is going to make a business decision. He's checking out. Nah, I'm good. I'm not doing this. The money ain't worth it. Hey, I'll give you your talents back. You can have that shit.
Oh, man.
No, thank you. That's what he's saying.
We have it.
You can have that money out. You can have it. Y'all ain't want it.
All money ain't good. money.
All money ain't good money out. You can have that whole territory.
Yeah.
I don't really need Jerusalem. We don't need Jerusalem anyway. You ain't have Jerusalem. All I need is the water areas.
Yeah.
Just give me Tyrians out. You can have the rest of this crap. That's what it's saying.
Yeah.
Read on.
And the Chaldeans shall come again and fight against this city and take it and burn it with fire.
He says, Jeremiah, tell them this while they're gone. While they're gone, they're coming right back and they're going to finish the job. So get whatever little supplies you need and stack up your little bread baskets and grain, because that's going to run out too. Because you know what? When the Babylonians left, you know, they opened the gates and they start going to get whatever they could. They get all the bread they could, all the little food they could, all the supplies they could to get ready for the next besieging. Read on.
Thus saith the Most High, deceive not yourselves, saying, the Chaldeans shall surely depart from us, for they shall not depart.
They're just gone for a few days, B. They're coming back at you. Or maybe a month. They'll be back in a month or so. Read on.
For though he has smitten the whole army of the Chaldeans that fight against you, and there remain but wounded men among them, yet should they rise up every man in his tent and burn this city with fire.
He said, even if the Chaldeans went down to Egypt and the Egyptians whipped their tail, whatever was left of the Chaldeans will still come back around here and besiege your city and destroy it.
Damn.
He said, there's no hope.
There's no hope.
They could lose against Egyptians, and whoever's left will come back up, circle the city, and destroy it. Because that's what they're saying. Listen, the spirit is going right at their thoughts. Well, what if the Egyptians beat them? There's no way they can come back up here and besiege the city. He says, even if they do beat them, whoever's left is going to come destroy you anyway.
That's that hope in the shadow of Egypt.
Stop accepting and hoping in the Egypt. And that was why we went into that last week. Read on.
And it came to pass that when the army of the Chaldeans was broken up from Jerusalem for fear of Pharaoh's army.
Once again, he says when it happened, and the Chaldeans bounced, and they broke up to go and deal with these Egyptians. Read on.
Then Jeremiah went forth out of Jerusalem to go into the land of Benjamin.
Stop. In the land of Benjamin, he is from Anathoth, the city of Anathoth, which is in the city of Benjamin. So when the message was relayed to Zedekiah through his proxies, through his servants, through Zephaniah and Jehukal and all these priests. He sent the message, it doesn't matter what happens in this fight between Babylon and Egypt, Babylon's coming back. But while Babylon is already gone, people were leaving out the city. They were leaving the city to take care of their business, stack up some more supplies, buy this, sell that. They'd do what they had to do to get ready. Or they were smiling and laughing like everything was cool. One way or the other, people were going in and out of the city. Jeremiah sat back here and was going back to his hometown of Anathoth to obviously handle some type of business as well. Okay? Maybe this check on family, check on the people, check on the city. They did get ransacked. They did get ransacked too. These outside cities. Read verse 12 again.
Come. Jeremiah chapter 37 and verse 12. Then Jeremiah went forth out of Jerusalem to go into the land of Benjamin, to separate himself thence in the midst of the people.
And obviously, he separated himself from the people. Can you imagine how tense it was between him and these priests and these leaders? With them telling them all this bad news out? And telling them that they're going to die? And that Nebuchadnezzar's going to kill them?
But they can't handle.
But he's not giving them what they want to hear. Imagine the tension, though, between them, right?
He ain't giving no
The
good
pressure,
news.
and the pressure is on everybody, right?
It's
Imagine
real.
the level of tension and pressure amongst all the leadership. This whole thing could fall apart any day now. So Jeremiah wants to get out of the city and just take a blow. Take a break. Get away from all the tension. And watch what happens.
Verse 13. And when he was in the gate of Benjamin, a captain of the ward was there.
He says, when you got to the gate of Benjamin, you're entering into the gate of the Benjamite city. Read on.
A captain of the ward was there, whose name was Arijah, the son of Shelemiah, the son of Hananiah.
Okay.
And he took Jeremiah the prophet, saying, Thou fallest away.
So hold on. He says, hold on. Now listen, read verse 3 again.
Verse 3. And Zedekiah, the king, said, Jehucal, the son of Shelemiah.
Stop. So Jehucal was the son of Shelemiah.
God.
Jeremiah sent the message to this Jehucal, the son of Shelemiah. Now we're here in Benjamin, because these guys were obviously priests just in different sections of the city. Now Jeremiah runs into this guy named Arijah, who also is a son of Shelemiah. So they're kinfolk. The kinfolk up in Jerusalem didn't like what he was told. So you think he didn't sit back here and tell his brother about the things Jeremiah was saying about Jerusalem? So now he gets to Benjamin and sees another brother of Shelemiah, and check what this guy does. Read on.
And he took Jeremiah the prophet, saying, Thou fallest away to the Chaldeans.
Man, he gave him a bogus claim. You're running to the Chaldeans.
Oh,
You're escaping and going to the Chaldeans.
that's garbage, huh?
He's going into the gate of Benjamin. How is he going? How is he going into the face and chase and run to the Chaldeans when he's going into the gate of the Chaldeans?
But this is a common thing in Israel where brothers say evil things against brothers and priests.
All the time, bro.
They slander, they say evil things against priests, and they throw dirt on men's names for envy's sake, and it's because they just don't agree with them. Really, we don't agree, so let me throw dirt in this man's name.
Yeah,
And it's untrue dirt, not real dirt. It's untrue information.
Yep. And it's sad, but he gave him a false claim just to throw him in jail.
They're saying he was fleeing.
Yes, and he was going to Chaldea. He was going to sit back here and go on their side. He's leaving Jerusalem to go on the side of the
They
Chaldeans.
say he's committing treason against the nation.
Yes.
That's a high claim against this brother.
And listen, Jeremiah, like, I am entering the gate of Benjamin. How am I going to the Chaldeans?
He said, you must be taking a shortcut. Like you cutting through here.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
So once again, read verse 13 again.
Come. Jeremiah 37 and 13. And when he was in the gate of Benjamin, a captain of the ward was there, whose name was Arijah.
That means he went inside the gate.
Come.
He was in the gate. He was inside Benjamin. And one of the family members of the ones, when Jeremiah was giving bad news to King Zedekiah, the word around this time was conspired against Jeremiah. Maybe part of the reason Jeremiah left in the first place was how the heat was on him in Jerusalem.
He had a bad reputation.
And the heat was on. So maybe him getting away the word got around, we got to find a way to silence this guy. Just got to put two and two together. So now they sat back here and they're finding a bogus claim on him.
Because he already was an enemy of the state.
God.
And now he's that much more so an enemy of the state.
Because
I didn't give you any good news.
None. Nothing to make me smile. Nothing to make anybody feel good.
Yeah.
Okay. Now listen, before we go any further on this part, I want to go to Jeremiah chapter 1 and 1, and I should have established. No, it's not bad. I'm glad we're okay with this. Jeremiah 1 and 1. Because you're going to start realizing how difficult Jeremiah's situation is and how his situation ramps up now. So, where are we at? We are Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 1 and 2.
Okay. Jeremiah chapter 1 and verse 1. The words of Jeremiah, the son of Hilkiah, of the priests that were in Anathoth, in the land of Benjamin.
That's first things first. He's going to his hometown now. Well, he's being accused of treason, going to his hometown in Benjamin.
That's
insane.
That proves Christ's words when he said a prophet is without honor except in his own country.
Damn.
Yep. No, you're not a prophet at home. You're just a regular guy.
Yep. You're public enemy number one. He's public enemy number one in particular. Well, let's keep reading.
Verse 2. To whom the word of the Most High came in the days of Josiah, the son of Ammon, king of Judah, in the 13th year of his reign.
What you read is that the Most High gave him the knowledge in Josiah's 13th year. Josiah was 21. Jeremiah was 20 in this particular time. Okay? And when Jeremiah was 20, it was 627 BC. Jeremiah was 20 at 627 BC. So if you do the math, 27 years later, you're at 600 BC. He's 47. Right? Now we're at 588 BC. That's 12 more years. That means he's 59. He's 59 going on 60, bro. He's a 60-year-old man. Okay? By the time everything is collapsed, he's like 61. So he's 59, 60 years old. Walking, not fast, obviously. He's walking and operating to the land of Benjamin at damn near 60 years old.
And it's not included the damage that happened to him wearing those collars, bro.
He probably has a little arch in his back.
Yeah.
But what am I saying? He's damn near 60 years old at this point in 588 BC. Okay? So, with that being the case, read verse 13 in Jeremiah 37 and 13 again.
Come. Jeremiah chapter 37 and verse 13. And when he was in the gate of Benjamin, a captain of the ward was there, whose name was Arijah, the son of Shelemiah, the son of Hananiah. And he took Jeremiah the prophet, saying, Thou fallest away to the Chaldeans.
So now it's a bogus charge that he's running to the Chaldeans. He's a 60-year-old man. Where's he going, man? Read on.
At 60.
At 60. Read on.
Then said Jeremiah, It is false. I fall not away to the Chaldeans. But he hearkened not unto him. So Arijah took Jeremiah and brought him to the princes.
He brought him to those same guys that he was prophesying against. But once again, they're all in cahoots. Remember we read in Ezekiel about those 25 men that were running the city out, that were breaking the laws and worshiping the sun? Yeah. All these guys are linked in together. Now Jeremiah's been checking and cutting for 22 years. They've created a bogus claim on him, and now they're going to lean on him. Read on.
Wherefore, the princes were wroth with Jeremiah. And
why were they wroth with Jeremiah? Were they wroth because he was running to the Chaldeans? Or were they wroth because of the prophecies that he was saying against them? Now they got a chance to use it as a leverage to keep him in jail.
Yeah.
That's what they did it for. They were mad at the prophecies. They were mad at what he was saying. They were mad that he was busting and calling them out for their weakness and for their negative. And because what's that?
So is this very close to the dynamic of Christ and the Pharisees?
Yeah, you can say that. Because he was a threat. Jeremiah was a threat to the leadership's power, and Christ was a threat to the Pharisees' power. So now Jeremiah is here. They got him in obviously in damn handcuffs or whatever the hell it is. He's presented to the princes. They established false accusations on him.
It's garbage, bro.
And they said, read verse 15 again.
Jeremiah chapter 37 and verse 15. Wherefore the princes were wroth with Jeremiah and smote him.
So they're beating a 60-year-old man up. They're beating up a 60-year-old man up. This is what the prophets of the Lord had to suffer through.
A man with no reputation of being a defector.
Bro, this guy was in it the whole time, suffering with the Jews. Now he's getting beat up at 60. That's despicable. You'll see it on TV like even back in the day during the Rodney King riots a long time ago. There were people beating up this Edomite trucker, bro. He's like 50 years old.
Reginald Denny.
Yeah, him. That was him.
Yeah.
Not only this guy didn't have a chance.
Yeah, he first of all, you're in an 18-wheeler. How you let somebody pull you out of the truck?
That was dumb.
You all you had to do is hit drive.
Yes. And my question is, listen, how come you had the door unlocked?
Yeah.
Just roll the windows up.
Then you let some gangsters.
Like, hey, what are you doing? You're opening my door. Don't open my door. Why are you opening my door? What's going on here? You pushed the damn lock button, my dude.
No, what happened was the week before, the mechanic was telling, listen, I think we need to get this door fixed. He's like,
no way. Seriously? I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, what? There's no way.
He's like, I'll get it done a little bit.
He's hung. Stop it. He like glitch. He doesn't use his left hand to push the button and drive off. You can't just do this shit. There was nobody around. You couldn't go backwards.
Bro.
First of all, if you see a riot going on in Watts,
getting the hell out of there.
Get out of there, man. Lock your doors, man.
Getting the hell out of there. Listen, I'm going to say this. When I was young, when that Rodney King verdict came out, you knew the block was going to be hot out.
You can feel it.
I was in school, and I was in class. The class was mixed. When it was not guilty, and you saw OJ like this, it was on TV. Everybody was watching it. When he was not guilty, all the black folks jump up. It was like, yes! And the Edomites were like this.
He did it.
Listen, the whole school was split in half.
Wow.
No, wrong time. It was two different times when things were jacked up.
You talking about 92,
the block was hot all the time at that time. But this one was about Rodney King the cops being not guilty.
Yeah, that was like 91. I remember because I was in high school, and the teacher asked everybody a question and said, "Who would riot?" And I was the only one. I was the only one that raised my hand.
That's hilarious.
And I flunked that class after that. No, I'm not even joking. I failed that class. Anything I turned in, she put a D on it.
That's messed up.
Yeah. So she said, and then she looked at me. She said, "Why would you do that?" And I told her like I said, as a freshman in high school, I said, listen, you can't keep beating people up in the corner and expect them not to fight back. So eventually they gonna fight back. Mm-hmm. And then she didn't like that answer. So, she gave me a nasty look.
What was the biggest red marker I can find?
No matter what I turned in, I couldn't do nothing right that year in that class. But that just it was the 90s. It was the early 90s.
And I'm telling you, man, when the officers that beat up Rodney King were acquitted, you just knew it. It was gonna be bad. It was gonna be bad. Listen, Jake was pissed, and listen. I remember Koreans, because there was a lot of Koreans and Asians in them that owned stores. All of them put black owned in front of the stores.
Black owned.
They're like, you are not black owned. Everybody in the block knows it.
Yeah.
So they coming at your shit too. I remember I had like baseball price. Who was in the hood? I was like, man, this is gonna get bad. Everybody shut down practice quick. Everybody got out. When it got dark, everything started getting jacked up out. You should have known.
Should he start smoking?
You should have known, bro. You got to keep your head in the swivel because Jake was going to lose it out. And they did. But the whole vibe was tense. And it was tense during OJ too. When OJ got acquitted, Esau was mad. They were mad. It was bad then too. But those are the days. When it was like they were still. You had to choose your side, and if you didn't choose black, you was a sellout. It ain't the same way no more, man. Everything's all mixed, and it doesn't matter if you're black and white and Michael Jackson out. That whole vibe is different. It ain't the same now. Back then, you had to choose a side.
OJ.
From like the early 90s down, like 80s and 70s, you had to pick your side. Everything's all mixed up and all United Colors of Benetton now. Everything's all blended. Yeah. It's an old ad campaign in Britain where it's like this, everybody's mixed and we're all together and we're all blended together. Anyway, point is, what am I saying?
Adam got something we want.
Yes,
Yeah, now that it's on the decline, they want to include us now.
Yeah. But they're using us as a weapon, actually. They're using the blending of societies and the blending of races as a way to break down society. And we think we're coming up. But they're using the mixing of societies and peoples to water down the entire world. We think, but you know what? Cool, let him do it. Because the Most High is giving us a break. He's giving us a break. We'll take the break. Let him destroy. Let him destroy himself and Ishmael in Arabia. I'm fine with that. Gives us a time to get ourselves together. Yeah. Anyway, so Jeremiah is 60 years old. They're giving him they're putting false claims on him. They're beating him down. He's bruised up. It's messed up, man. Give me verse 15, and you got to leave like within minutes. Amiyathi, can you take him to Roanoke's? Okay, cool. I thought she was over there. Yeah. So read this verse.
Jeremiah chapter 37 and verse 15. Wherefore the princes were wroth with Jeremiah and smote him and put him in prison in the house of Jonathan the scribe. But they had made that the prison.
So listen, they put him in jail in Benjamin. It was in Benjamin jail. Read on.
When Jeremiah was entered into the dungeon and into the cabins, and Jeremiah had remained there many days.
It wasn't this regular jail, it was a damn dungeon, It's a 60-year-old man in a dungeon, Read on.
Then Zedekiah the king sent and took him out. And the king asked him secretly.
Hold on, before we go there, hold verse 17. Let's get back into Josephus. Head out right now, okay, Amiyathi? Amiyathi and Pariah? I'm going to need you to take over the scriptures, Adam. Adamus Prime. But we're going to do Josephus. Yeah, you're going to Josephus right now. So we're in Josephus, Nagaha.
Book 10, chapter 7, page 273. We're at line 110. Unless you want to start from the top.
You know what? Let's finish this off because this precedes that. I want to stay on top. That's my fault. Right on, sir.
Jeremiah 37 and 17.
Let's get you saluted in.
Adam Shaw Shabbatah, Ban Yahawada, Ban Yasharala.
Adam Shaw Shabbatah, Ban Yahawada, Ban Yasharala. I measure. Bro, Yahawah Hashem Yashabrakta.
Yahawah Hashem Yashabraktam.
All right. So we're at Jeremiah 37 and 15. So once again, as where we're at now, Babylon already left. They went down to sit back here and square off against the Egyptians. That process is happening. And as we know in war, it's not like TV video games. That takes weeks. Get supply lines set up. They're setting up supplies, food, raiment, the whole nine to get ready for a battle. So as they're setting all this stuff up, Jeremiah goes to Benjamin, the city, his hometown. They accuse him of running to the Chaldeans. They throw him in jail. They beat him up. And they put him in a damn dungeon at 60 years old. Read on.
Jeremiah 37 and 15. Wherefore the princes were wroth with Jeremiah and smote him and put him in prison in the house of Jonathan the scribe, for they had made that the prison. When Jeremiah was entered into the dungeon and into the cabins, and Jeremiah had remained there many days.
That means he wasn't there for a light day. He wasn't there for a couple weeks. He was there for many days outside of Jerusalem which meant this process of fighting Babylon versus Egypt took many days. Because by the time Babylon came back up, he was back in Jerusalem. Okay, read on.
Then Zedekiah the king sent and took him out. And the king asked him secretly in his house and said, is there any word from the Most High?
So first of all, what you're going to read is Zedekiah is like, Zedekiah doesn't have a problem with Jeremiah. Zedekiah was a weak man that respected Jeremiah, but also caved into the influence of the princes and the priests around him. So Zedekiah sits back here and sent word and took him out. He got him out of jail, or at least got him out of the Benjamite jail. So read verse 17 again.
God, from the top, continue.
From the top.
From the top. Then Zedekiah the king sent and took him out.
So the king bailed him out of jail and brought him back to Jerusalem. He extradited him. He extradited him back to damn Jerusalem. Read on.
And the king asked him secretly in his house.
But he brought him to his house. Why did he bring him to his house? Because he don't want nobody else to know he's talking with him. Read on.
And said, is there any word from the Most High? And Jeremiah said, there is. But said he, thou shalt be delivered into the hand of the king of Babylon.
He still keeps doubling down on the Most High's word, right?
Yep.
First of all, that is the best, most honorable play you can make. But you don't think Jeremiah knew that by him saying this, he can go back in jail again? Listen, in the back of his head, he said, man, if I sit back and play ball with Zedekiah, they might take me out of jail. You don't think that's what was in his head? Jeremiah knew if he lied, he'd get taken off the hook. But what mattered more than him getting taken off the hook was him standing up for what's right. And Jeremiah said, yeah, man, you're still going into captivity, bro. They're coming back up. It's a matter of time. Read on.
Moreover, Jeremiah said unto King Zedekiah, what have I offended against thee, or against thy servants, or against this people, that ye have put me in a prison?
And that's the question. That's the $1 million question. Why did you put me in prison? All I did was tell you the word of the Most High. Why are you punishing me for telling you the truth? Read on.
Where are now your prophets, which prophesied unto you?
What about these guys that said in 2 years Jeconiah is coming back into power? Remember that guy in previous classes?
Yep.
The guy that said Jeconiah is coming back in 2 years, and they're going to break the shackles off the neck of him. He broke the shackle off the neck of Jeremiah, assaulted him, and he died like a week later. He said, where are these guys that kept telling you everything's going to be okay? And it never did become okay. Read on.
Saying, the king of Babylon shall not come against you, nor against this land.
Now, what about all these liars that have been blowing you up and puffing you up and telling you everything's going to be okay? Where are they? Read on.
Therefore, hear now, I pray thee, O my lord the king, let my supplication, I pray thee, be accepted before thee, that thou cause me not to return to the house of Jonathan the scribe, lest I die there.
He said, listen, you got to hear me out, Zedekiah. If I go back to this dungeon in Benjamin land, I am going to die. How bad are the conditions in that jail to where you're going to die in a dungeon? Was it the wintertime? It was probably the wintertime. It was probably so damn cold out there. I just think about those medieval prisons. Those medieval jails. Those are bad, bro. And then the one little rat that comes in that way every once in a while, and you just sitting here, and everything's hard and stone. I keep thinking about like the Count of Monte Cristo jail.
It's like water dripping.
That's the worst jail in the world. It's moisture around the walls. There's like algae growing on the side. And you die of the black lung, and it's cold as hell, and these guys have tattered clothing on, and no shoes, and they're shivering in the jail. That's what I keep thinking about. And they give you like watery gruel. But it's more water than any substance. Oh my God, that's hell. When I think of like bad jail, that's bad jail. And you're on an island, there's no escape. Anyway, I watch too many movies. But because that's what you see. You're not cleaning up. There's no baths. There's no shower. Nothing, bro. You're gonna wear your clothes until you have no clothes on. But
ain't no human rights.
Ain't no human rights violations. They ain't no plumbing. Ain't none of that stuff. You're just screwed. But he says, if you don't take me out of this dungeon, I'm going to die, Zedekiah. You want me to die in prison for me that's teaching the word? He's trying to talk to Zedekiah. What are you doing? So read verse 20 again.
Verse 20. Therefore hear now, I pray thee, O my lord the king, let my supplication, I pray thee, be accepted before thee, that thou cause me not to return to the house of Jonathan the scribe, lest I die there.
I'm a 60-year-old man. I can't handle these conditions. Read on.
Then Zedekiah the king commanded that they should commit Jeremiah into the court of the prison, and that they should give him daily a piece of bread out of the baker's street.
So I'll put you in prison in Jeremiah. I'll put you in prison. Okay, Jeremiah. I'll put you in jail then in Jerusalem, in the court of the prison, I'll put you in gym pop then, man. Listen, he said, okay, I won't put you in a dungeon. I won't put you in solitary confinement in Benjamin land, in Anathoth. I'll bring you in gin pop in Jerusalem. I'm still putting you in jail. Because you're still not telling me what I want to hear. And the people want you in jail, so I'm going to have you in jail. I'll just put you in gym pop. Let me not go there.
It's like
I was gonna sit back here and go on different sets in jail. Like I'm not doing with Judah and Issachar and the Aryan Nation over there. I'll bring you in there in gin pop. I'm sorry.
it's like light security, medium security versus maximum security.
Or it's medium, maximum, and it's this damn isolation. I'm putting you in a hole. You know, guys getting fights. Bring it up. You're going in a hole for 30 days. That's what damn Jeremiah was in Benjamin. Now you in a hole. You're in a dungeon.
No.
He's in the dungeon. He's in gin pop. No, he's not in gin pop. Think about it. You ever see those jail shows where you're in jail for you're in a hole for like 30, 40 days? You start losing it. Right? You ever see them shows? You're in isolation. You're not even getting an hour to see the sun, bro. You're just in jail. That's psychological torture. Nobody's around you. That's what the dungeon was. That's not some light thing. Listen, for anybody who's ever been to jail, jail is hell. But isolation in jail is even worse. What was your question?
So they weren't feeding them then?
Not in the first one.
Yeah.
Or they were feeding him sparingly.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask, because he was selling them on, I'll give you a piece of bread from the bakers, every day. And I'm like, so what were you giving them beforehand if you selling them on the bread?
Yeah,
he wasn't getting much.
He wasn't getting much, bro. Well, don't forget, that was what Ezekiel said. Everybody's gonna get just one little biscuit. That's your meal every day is a biscuit. And when you read about these next set of conditions that Jeremiah got to go through, you're gonna be like, good night. This is out of this damn world. This is nothing in comparison to what Jeremiah got to face next. Keep in mind, he's a 60-year-old man. The body don't operate the same. It just don't. You don't recover the same from injuries and ailments. Let's continue, man.
Thus, Jeremiah remained in the court of the prison.
Read verse 21 again.
Verse 21. Then Zedekiah the king commanded that they should commit Jeremiah into the court of the prison, and that they should give him daily a piece of bread out of the baker's street until all the bread in the city were spent.
Okay.
Thus, Jeremiah remained in the court of the prison.
And there you go, bro. So Jeremiah's in the court of the prison, and he got a slightly better deal coming up to Jerusalem, and it's only for a short period of time that it gets this better deal. Okay, what we're going to do now is go to... we're going to go to 38, but I want to go on this Josephus real quick and kind of get into some of this. Now we go to Josephus, sir. So now we know Jeremiah is in Jerusalem now. So that's where we're at. He's in Jerusalem now. So now we can kind of go into this aspect of geopolitically what happens with Babylon and Egypt. Read that, sir. Just read paragraph 3, the whole paragraph, and then we're going to read portions of paragraph 4.
Josephus, book 10, chapter 7, paragraph 3, page 273. Now when Zedekiah had preserved the league of mutual assistance he had made with the Babylonians for 8 years, he brake it and revolted to the Egyptians in hopes by their assistance of overcoming the Babylonians. When the king of Babylon knew this, he made war against him. He laid his country waste and took his fortified towns, and came to the city Jerusalem itself to besiege it. But when the king of Egypt heard what circumstances Zedekiah his ally was in, he took a great army with him, and came into Judea, as if he would raise the siege, upon which the king of Babylon departed from Jerusalem, and met the Egyptians, and joined battle with them, and beat them. And when he had put them to flight, he pursued them, and drove them out of all Syria.
He drove them out of that entire Levant region. We talked earlier about how the Egyptians had a control. They reestablished control over the Levant, which is from Tyre and Zidon down south through Jerusalem and Philistia. So what he's saying is they drove them out of that entire region for another period of time. Okay, read on.
Paragraph 3, line 111. Now, as soon as the king of Babylon was departed from Jerusalem...
Now, hold that. I'm going to read this real quick. Hophra's army marched east to Zedekiah's aid. Nebuchadnezzar temporarily withdrew from attacking Jerusalem to confront the Egyptian threat. It says the Babylonian forces quickly withdrew from Jerusalem and sped westward into the coastal plain. Their march was apparently so swift and their front so intimidating that King Hophra, with the limited number of troops he had brought, saw the opportunity of marching up country to Jerusalem. Their march was apparently so swift and their front so intimidating that Hophra, with the limited number of troops he had brought, saw neither the opportunity of marching up country to Jerusalem nor any realistic chance of overcoming the enemy in open battle. Ignominiously, the Egyptians withdrew. So this is what's happening. Then it says Nebuchadnezzar returned to Jerusalem, and then we'll go on to that in a second. But before we go on to them withdrawing, once they left, what did the prophets tell him? Read on.
Line 111. Now, as soon as the king of Babylon was departed from Jerusalem, the false prophet deceived Zedekiah, and said that the king of Babylon would not any more make war against him or his people, nor move them out of their own country into Babylon, and that those then in captivity would return with all those vessels of the temple, of which the king of Babylon had despoiled that temple.
So it keeps going back into these false prophets, keep reassuring King Zedekiah that they're leaving and they're never coming back. Now, we just read Zedekiah personally asked Jeremiah, brought him out of jail and said, what's going to happen to what's happening? Are they going to stay gone or are they coming back? Jeremiah is saying they're coming. All the false prophets are saying what? They're gone for good. So if I'm sitting back here tapped to the flesh, I'm going to hear and hold on to the good news.
Yep.
I don't want to hear the truth. I want to hear the lie. Just like our people want to hear the lie.
Yep.
A lot of times, we'll sit back here and give counsel, and the counsel we give you, we don't want to hear that shit out. We want to hear the answer that says it's going to feel good, everything's going to be okay.
Everything's
Choose
gonna be
door
all right.
number B or letter B. We don't want to hear, man, let it go, cut it off, move on. Be more patient, be more disciplined, wait. Give up, sacrifice. Everything is goddamn sacrifice. And wait. And take longer. And don't listen. And just take time and study more and read more and be more patient. People want to hear it's going to be okay.
Yep.
Can I read this scripture right here?
Yeah.
Jeremiah chapter 6 verse 14. Jeremiah chapter 6 verse 14. And I just had a conference with a sister outside. And this is a dynamic that our people are always in. They want to hear some type of information to tell them that the path they're on has been the right path. But our people really just need the honest truth. They need the honest truth, but from my experience I'm learning now, they need the honest truth with tact.
Yeah.
You can't just talk crazy to people. I used to be that guy. I used to talk crazy. I ain't gonna lie. But you know what?
What is talking crazy?
Talking crazy is not being wise with your words so that the message really penetrates.
Yeah.
You just not having the discipline to communicate the information. You're trying to get it out to them. They're not hearing you because they're in their mind fighting it. You're just gonna say, "Just stop smoking crack." Like you just can't act like that. You can't just because the message won't stick.
So what you're saying is it's detaching the emotion.
Detaching
Because it's already a difficult
It's already
topics
hard.
and message to hear. When you add emotion to the message, it makes it hard to listen.
It's not about you. If you take you out the picture, it's easier to talk to people and communicate with people and give them the objective truth from God versus being this is about their person not receiving me. We make this person not receiving me, and then we start amping up. When are they not receiving you or are they not receiving Christ? Can it be about Christ and not be about you? We attach ourselves to the message, and that's why people don't always receive our message.
Yeah.
All right? Real fast, read the scripture real quick.
Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 14.
Uh-huh.
They have healed also the hurt of the daughter of my people slightly.
They have healed the daughter of my people slightly. Talking about the false religious institution in America.
And he said it slightly. You feel better slightly and for a short period of time.
Yeah.
But if you don't listen, when you're giving advice and it's just pick me up advice
Yeah.
or everything's gonna be okay advice, it slightly fixes your situation.
Exactly.
But it doesn't permanently fix your situation.
It doesn't fix it long term. That's like the doctor saying, you know what? Just cut out the salt. When the problem is the pork. The pork has got you with high blood pressure, got you with diabetes, got you with your legs are expanding, it got your heart dealing with a lot of you have a lot of fat inside your veins. Your ventricles are starting to break down. You have gout. You have plaque in your brain, so it's messing up your mind. And they're saying just stop eating salt. Well, listen.
Cut down your salt.
Cut down your
That's
salt.
always the answer.
And guess
Cut
what?
down.
Cutting down your salt might help you, but the real demon, 60 to 80% of the problem is that defiled meat that the Most High told you not to eat. But the doctor won't say that because people have an issue. Whenever you tell black folks, especially black folks and Latinos, hey, cut that pork out, they immediately it's a personal attack.
It's a personal attack.
Why is this a
You're
personal
against
attack?
my culture.
Yeah.
Why is this a personal attack? There's lamb, there's all kind of meat out there. There's chicken, there's pheasant,
Bison.
there's bison,
Well,
there's buffalo.
I'm gonna tell you the curse for Israelites. Cut out the meat in general. Oh!
Well,
And you get Israelites that don't know the knowledge, no pork. You tell Israelites with the knowledge, no beef. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
No chicken.
That's your opinion, brother.
Yeah.
That is your opinion.
Listen,
That's not my God. That's not my God.
Yeah.
My God didn't tell me that.
Exactly.
The scripture tells me I can get all the goddamn lamb I want.
It says it's the overabundance of meat that is the problem. It's just anytime you tell anybody to
I'm not attacking.
yeah.
I'm just saying. But the
Yeah.
problem is sometimes when you have so much, you got to cut off the meat for a period. Can you just cut it off?
Yeah.
Can you cut it out of your diet and then start
Fast off carne, bro.
and then maybe eat in measure?
Yeah.
But you got to just cut it cold turkey for a period of time.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts.
Shh. And you hear somebody say, "I agree to disagree." That's the mindset I agree to disagree.
And people say that's extreme.
Yeah.
That's too much. Then they say you don't care about. It's all the whole list. The top 10 Israelite bullshit sayings. You put on the card. Oh, let me guess. Oh, let me guess. Number 7. I never liked you.
You have a problem with me.
Number 8. That's my opinion. Okay. You won.
Okay.
Top 10 Israelite bullshit statements.
Yeah.
It's almost guaranteed. But the issue really is,
Awesome.
we heal people slightly by not giving them the honest truth, telling them just what they want to hear so they can feel better.
Because when you're counseling, you know what they want you to tell them. They're telling you what they want. They're setting it up on a platter for you.
And the truth is, like, you can go home a lot faster. You say, it's okay.
I'll gain a friend. I'll gain a buddy.
Like, you're gonna like me. I can get out of here and go home. It's like it's gonna be a 1 hour counsel. Tell them what they want to hear. It's gonna be a 3 hour counsel if you argue with them.
No, it's
Which
gonna
one do you
it's gonna be 5 sets of 3 hour
Yeah.
counsel. It's not just. It's nothing is ever one counsel.
Yeah, you're right.
This is the beginning of an ongoing saga.
Yeah.
Of this person not seeing it the way you're seeing.
And then you might lose that person. It's like some kind of class.
Yeah.
Talk bad about you on the web. That's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's better to say, hey, bro, just drink a beer. Let's just drink a beer, bro.
Let's drink it together.
Let's just drink a beer, and then all the arguing and hate goes away.
Yep.
Off of one not Bud Light. Off of one.
Why,
Whatever.
why,
I can't drink. I don't drink Bud Light, buddy.
Well, like,
Off of Modelo or something like that, bro. Off of Modelo.
you
can say so many.
Choice. So you
can-
can't
you
do
can-
that.
you
You
can
might
lose-
say Budweiser.
All the enemies
Gross.
go away if you pull Modelo out. But if you pull out the truth and reality, you become Jeremiah, bro.
Listen, he doubled down on righteousness' sake. And he temporarily went from a slum jail in solitary confinement to gin pop with a piece of bread. It's still jail, bro.
Yep.
It's still the state versus Jeremiah Davis. It's still there, right? He's still there.
And he was never wrong.
I know.
He was never wrong. Can we read on the scripture?
Keep going.
Jeremiah 6:14. They have healed also the hurt of the daughter of my people
So
slightly.
that's a temptation if you want to sit here and be liked and approval.
Yeah.
That's why the reason why people give answers that people want to hear is because there's an unnatural desire for approval.
Yes.
And that's the war you have to fight in yourself. Is that unnatural, inordinate desire
You
for
want to
approval.
be liked.
Yeah.
You
That's
want
a real
people to
thing.
like you. You want people to respect you and appreciate you.
Yeah.
And
The Saul dealt with that. And we see where it took Saul. He wanted the people's admiration.
Yep.
So
Zedekiah did too. Zedekiah was afraid to tell people no. That we talk about it. We don't. Maybe we don't need to put a class about it. But the great leaders told everybody no, and they didn't care what bridges were burned, what friendships were, when allegiances were cut off. It was going to be a kingdom based on serving God.
Yeah.
And we're going to detach buddy stuff all out of the picture. The word comes first. And if we agree in the serving the Lord, then we can be friends.
Yep.
That's what King Hezekiah did. That's what King Josiah did. All you read about is how they loved the Lord. They had Sabbath days and Passovers. But when you see how bad things were with bad kings, then you also know what these good kings face. It's just not documented.
yeah.
If you see that Zedekiah caved to peer pressure, when you read that one of the kings of Judah, I forgot his name, once his mentor died, he caved to peer pressure, then you know that every king gets peer pressure. Gets pressure from his peers to give in to this and be soft on this and to be weak to this. Everyone does, and they have to make a moral decision. Am I going to be soft on crime, or am I going to sit back and make it uncomfortable for everybody?
Yeah.
That is a challenge everybody has to face.
You know, John the Baptist had no issue with that.
Yep.
You know, John the Baptist, you know, that's how he got beheaded in prison.
Yep.
Is because he told Herod's brother that you can't have your brother's wife, and that chastisement and correction, which he was right, caused him to go to prison and eventually get his head cut off. But he didn't care anyway about salvaging people's feelings or salvaging friendships. The truth is the truth.
And but it also lets us know the truth comes with a cost.
Yeah.
And there's a cost from living right, making the right decision, and standing up for what's right. Everybody's not going to be your friend, which means you're going to feel loneliness. What do you think what it meant in Isaiah 53 when it says Christ was dejected and a man of sorrows? He was rejected and a man of sorrows. You're going to be rejected for standing up for what's right and telling the truth.
No, and
And that
Proverbs
is
say
part of the territory.
open rebuke is better than secret love.
Yeah.
So it's better to tell somebody the truth out in the open than tell them you love them in secret.
And and that means in doing that, it's better to be rejected and be alone and have a bunch of friends and lie to them.
Yep.
But that's a tough pill to swallow. Can you live with being lonely? And can you live with telling people the truth and you know they have a problem with you when you come and meet them on high holy days? How about that? Yes, sir.
That just reminds me of the scripture that says, don't compromise the gospel.
Oh yeah, listen, but once again, there's a cost to it. All we're painting out is you're not supposed to compromise anything for the Most High in Christ, but be prepared to deal with the blowback behind it.
Yeah.
There is blowback. You are going to lose. You're going to lose wives. You're going to lose kids. You're going to lose friends. You're going to lose family members. You are going to lose because you stand up and have principle, spiritual principle. And can you accept the losses? And the truth is, you don't know until you're in the midst of it. If you can accept the losses? Can you accept the alienation?
Yeah.
There's brothers that have been the truth, and they were married before the truth, and they had an entirely new whole family, and then they got the knowledge, and then the whole house is fractured afterwards. And can you live with that fractured household? That's a real thing. What are we prepared to lose to stand up for? That's the lesson in this.
That's why it says
Jeremiah's sitting back here and had a real question. He could have sit back and softened the blow.
Got out of prison.
He could have said, well, Zedekiah, I'm not sure. Maybe we pray together. Let's just pray and ask. But the Most High told him the message. And he said, I want you to tell him this, or I'm going to destroy you. He had to sit back and ask himself one question. How do I want to get destroyed? How do I want to get punished?
Without fear.
Do I want to get punished by the Most High? Or do I want to get punished by man?
Good question.
You're going to get punished. You're going to get punished for standing up for what's right. But how do you want to get punished? For young men, and young sisters in the truth. You start teaching Bible shit in high school, bro, you are going to get dissed and clowned and alienated. And you're going to look like the weirdo. For young women wearing dresses to school, you're going to look like a damn idiot. Wearing dresses, like, what's going on here? Everybody's comfortable, yeah. You're a pilgrim, you're a Puritan? What's going on here? Huh? You wearing a black and white, your name Abigail or something like that. Everybody was Abigail and like Proctor.
You think you're better than us?
Yeah. Abigail and Proctor and what was it? Daniel, brother Daniel. That was everybody's name back then.
Good brother Daniel.
You want to be the weirdo on the block guy?
Amos.
Yeah,
Brother Amos.
Hezekiah,
Yeah.
Ezekiel. You're these weird names. Like, what's going on here? But yes, you're going to sit back here as a consequence and prepare your young children. You're not getting Hebrew names out. All the names in there with them chas and kas and hayas. And those are hard names to read. And the parent and the teacher in class, the battle starts when you do roll call out.
Yeah.
Roll call is when the battle starts out.
Sir.
Billy, Hunter, Kamar Bar, like what's going on here? Where'd that come from? Cameron, like what? Cameron? What is this? That's what I'm saying. That's when the battle starts right there. And everybody's like, who's that? You? And everybody's giggling. Game on, bro.
Bizarre.
Game on. Game on, bro. And you feel weird, like, beer. You just feel when you're walking around, everybody, you're the weirdo. Then you start wearing stringy clothes to school out. Why are you wearing stringy clothes to school out? Why are they touching your fringes out? That's the beginning of sorrows.
I'm just calling
you in high school. You in high school doing that, bro? They're coming at you, bro. They're coming at you.
Yeah.
Anyway, I remember it, and brother, listen,
Yep.
What am I trying to say? Jeremiah is showing the template of setting up for righteousness, how there's glory and shame at the same time. And can you accept that there's glory because there's X amount of scenarios where you sit up for righteousness' sake, and you stood tall for the Most High. I remember teaching Deuteronomy 28. I went to a new school and I taught Deuteronomy 28 in front of everybody and I said, damn it, I did it But everybody was like this. What the heck? Deuteronomy 28? This is in 94. Can you imagine that? Because I was in religion class. I was in a Catholic school, and they said everybody had like a 15-minute report about their faith. I said, well, you know what? I'm going at these boys, and I had my shit ready, bro. This is my first, it was like my second or third day of school. Nobody knew me, And I ain't said, bow, do the right to me.
Yeah.
Do the right to me. 28.
Yeah.
Slave ships. They were like, who is this NIGGA? What's this crazy backwoods religion? That was in the early 90s. Nobody knew nothing about us.
With no internet.
There wasn't nothing.
No internet. With no YouTube.
Bro, I felt strong because it's a courage and there was a lot of spiritual lessons I had to learn from it. But there was a consequence too, bro. I was a target. I was a target of ridicule. People were clowning. Bro, I didn't have no friends at the time. You think I had more friends after that breakdown? You think I had more friends? No. It's the opposite of having more friends. But that's the cost. That's the cost. I just think about young folks. I know it ain't easy for y'all, man. But you can do it. You can get through it. You can get through it. But listen, Jeremiah's here, huh?
But they'll accept.
It's either that or you're going to feel peer pressure. You better, if you don't come off rip, let people know this is what I'm about, and forget y'all if you're not down with this, or you're going to sit back here and get pushed into smoking weed.
That's where it's at.
Breaking the law. If you sit back and put your foot down early, so y'all can kick rocks, you might get 1 or 2 people that are associates.
Yeah.
And that's all right.
And
you can survive through school with like 2 associates. One like cat you can hang out at lunch. You just need a person you can hang out at lunchtime with. That's all you need, bro. You need one cat you can kind of roll with at lunch.
One
survive
guy
through lunch.
Catch the bus with.
That's it.
Yeah.
And one cat to get on the bus with. You be all right.
You be all right.
You don't need nobody else.
Because they want to beat you up at the bus stop.
Yeah, exactly.
So you need one defender at the bus stop.
Yeah, you need one defender at the bus stop and one at lunch shop.
Yeah.
And you can survive high school life. So we're here now. Jeremiah is taking a big risk, but serving the Most High is all that matter, right? We're in Josephus still, right?
I was reading the Jeremiah 6.
You done with that?
I've finished the point. I'm done.
Okay.
Jeremiah 6:14. They have healed also the hurt of the daughter of my people slightly, saying, peace, peace, when there is no peace.
Saying peace, peace, when there's no peace. They're giving someone a false reality. They're giving somebody a false reality. Are you going to sell this person like a lamb to the slaughter to a false reality and they get judged? Or are you going to be loving enough to tell them the reality of the scriptures, the biblical reality, which is facts? And then they have an opportunity to get better. They're going to love, the people that convert their minds will love you down the line.
Yep.
And you'll get that approval later.
Yep.
In the back end. Or you might not.
No, people know when everything's good, they pay you no never mind. But when life starts to take a turn downhill, your phone rings.
Oh, your phone gonna blow.
Your phone always gonna ring when life starts sliding.
They don't like you, but they respect you.
Yeah.
And that's all you can hope for.
Yeah.
That was the conclusion point.
Yeah. So let's keep going to Josephus and keep going through this real quick.
Josephus, book 10, chapter 7, paragraph 3, we're at line 112, page 273.
So this is when the false prophets, once the Babylonians left Jerusalem, kept reassuring Zedekiah that they were going to stay gone. Read on.
But Jeremiah came among them and prophesied what contradicted those predictions and what proved to be true, that they did ill and deluded the king, that the Egyptians would be of no advantage to them, but that the king of Babylon would renew the war against Jerusalem and besiege it again, and would destroy the people by famine and carry away those that remain into captivity, and would take away what they had as spoils, and would carry off those riches that were in the temple. Nay, that besides this, he would burn it and utterly overthrow the city, and that they should serve him and his posterity 70 years. And then the Persians and Medes should put an end to their servitude and overthrow the Babylonians, and that we shall be dismissed and return to this land and rebuild the temple and restore Jerusalem.
So this is all the information that Jeremiah told Zedekiah. Read on.
When Jeremiah said this, the greater part believed him, but the rulers and those that were wicked despised him, as one disordered in his senses.
Listen, first of all, the wicked were disordered in their senses. And because they thought Jeremiah was disordered in his senses, and felt that they had to silence him. So we know King Zedekiah, under the pressure of these princes, put Jeremiah back into the court of the prison, which is general population. People are around. You're going to read that Jeremiah is still teaching people at this time in Gen Pop. He's teaching everybody in Gen Pop. He's getting everybody ready for this during this next phase of the besieging. Okay, read on.
Now he had resolved to go elsewhere to his own country, which was called Anathoth, and was 20 furlongs distant from Jerusalem. And as he was going, one of the rulers met him and seized upon him and accused him falsely. as though he were going to as a deserter to the Babylonians.
Mm-hmm.
But Jeremiah said that he accused him falsely and added that he was only going to his own country. But the other would not believe him, but seized upon him and led him away to the rulers and laid an accusation against him, under whom he endured all sorts of torments and tortures and was reserved to be punished. And this was the condition he was in for some time, while he suffered what I have already described unjustly.
So he was getting tortured too. It wasn't just regular jail. He was getting tortured, beat down. And this is when he was in the Benjamite jail. Let's get paragraph
the scripture
4.
said they smote him. They smite. One definition of smite means to kill. Now we know they didn't kill him, but if one of the definitions of smite is to kill you, they damn near bringing you to death. They damn near killing you.
Yeah.
He was getting beat close to death.
And that's why he came and begged Zedekiah, hey man, get me out of here or I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get past this beating and this abuse for much longer. Okay? Let's keep going.
Paragraph 4. Now in the 9th year of the reign of Zedekiah, on the 10th day of the 10th month, the king of Babylon made a second expedition against Jerusalem and lay before it 18 months and besieged it with the utmost application. There came upon them also two of the greatest calamities at the same time that Jerusalem was besieged, a famine and a pestilential distemper, and made great havoc of them. And though the prophet Jeremiah was in prison, he did not rest, but cried out and proclaimed aloud and exhorted the multitude to open their gates.
I had in the beginning of chapter 3, I was explaining he was in jail. At that time, he was out. In chapter 4, he was in Gen Pop in Jerusalem, teaching while he was in jail. Okay, in the court of the jail in Jerusalem. This is what paragraph 4 is about. Paragraph 3 is he was teaching before the besieging was happening. When you're reading paragraph 3, it kind of connects more to Jeremiah 21. Okay, so Jeremiah, the end of Jeremiah 37 is where we're at now in this paragraph 4. So let's continue.
And though the prophet Jeremiah was in prison, he did not rest, but cried out and proclaimed aloud and exhorted the multitude to open their gates and admit the king of Babylon.
And then this is what Jeremiah was telling King Zedekiah in Jeremiah chapter 21. You guys are going to die, the elites, but at least you saved the people. You have saved the people. You saved the people starvation, pain and suffering, and pestilence. Y'all turn yourselves in and face what you got to face. Okay, read on. This is why the princes wanted him dead. Because he was like, y'all got to give yourselves up and die so the nation can survive. Read on.
And admit the king of Babylon, for that, if they did so, they should be preserved, and their whole families. But if they did not so, they should be destroyed. And he foretold that if anyone stayed in the city, he should certainly perish by one of these ways, either be consumed by the famine or slain by the enemy's sword. But that, if he would fly to the enemy, he should escape death. Yet did not these rulers who heard believe him, even when they were in the midst of their sore calamities. But they came to the king and in their anger informed him what Jeremiah said.
So now Jeremiah is teaching. He's warning. He's like, listen, give up your power, bow the knee to Babylon so everybody can be saved. Okay, so the priest, the people, the princes are complaining to King Zedekiah about what Jeremiah is saying. Read on.
And accused him and complained of the prophet as of a madman and one that disheartened their minds.
Stop. Now we're going to hold this and go to Jeremiah 38. (38 and 1).
Jeremiah 38:1. Then Shephatiah, the son of Matan, and Gedaliah, the son of Pashur, and Jukal, the son of Shelemiah, And Pashur, the son of Malachiah, heard the words that Jeremiah had spoken unto all the people.
These are all those wicked princes that kept hearing about what Jeremiah was teaching, even though he was in jail. Read on.
Thus saith Yahweh, King of heaven, he that remaineth in this city shall die by the sword, by the famine, and by the pestilence. But he that goeth forth to the Chaldeans shall live. For he shall have his life for a prey, and shall live.
He says, you're going to be a servant, but you'll live. He's telling them people in the midst of their hunger. You know, listen, man, if you give up, you'll survive. Just give up and open these doors, and everybody is hearing it. As they're getting hungry and living off rations and getting thinner and thinner and thinner. Read on. What's that?
So what was it? Why wouldn't they give it just pride?
Yeah, because the heads didn't want to give up their power.
And just like us,
They didn't want to give up their position.
it's spirit doubling down. Huh?
Tripling. That's triple down.
That's triple down. Huh?
They're tripling the hell down now. It's going to work out. It's going to work out. Even though it ain't working out. Listen, after Egypt bounced out, what other hope you got? What other answers you got? Let's continue.
Thus saith the Most High, this city shall surely be given into the hand of the king of Babylon's army, which shall take it. Therefore the princes said unto the king.
This is where we're connecting it right here into Josephus. He says, the princes came to the king. Read on.
Therefore the princes said unto the king, we beseech thee, let this man be put to death. For thus he weakened the hands of the men of war that remain in the city.
You know what happens? People sit back here and look at the message of the Most High, and following counsel is weakening men. These guys said, man, kill him because he's weakening the confidence of the strongest guys we got left. And don't forget, Nebuchadnezzar took the strongest of the men anyway. So there wasn't a lot of strong men left anyway. He said, the fewer men we got that are strong, we can't lose them. So we got to kill Jeremiah to keep everybody's confidence up. Because Jeremiah was making everybody weak from telling the truth. What that means is everybody was considering just giving up and just serving the Babylonians so they can eat.
You know what it shows also? That our people would rather listen to a lie and die than change.
Yep.
That's how our people would rather do that.
Yep.
Because, you know, I'd rather believe my own lie
Yep.
and go down my way.
Wow.
That's what we do. We go down our way. If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die the way I want to die.
Listen, these people said that Jeremiah was a madman.
Yeah.
How was he mad when he's been on point the whole time?
Yep.
And he said, listen, Egypt's not going to defend you. And what's happening? Babylon's surrounding him again.
Yep.
He's not lying.
Yep.
But they're under the delusion because they were drunk with their delusion.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Most High said is go to Hosea chapter 4 verse 1. 1 through 4.
Hosea 4:1. Hear the word of the Most High, ye children of Israel. For the Most High hath the controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth.
Because there's no what?
No truth.
Our people don't want to hear the truth. I'd rather die than hear the truth. I'd rather do things my way.
Listen, we use this chapter for Esau.
Yeah, yeah.
But the controversy in America.
Yeah, but this ain't about Esau. Though.
That's not what the original purpose of this verse was for. This controversy was about Israel.
This controversy, the Most High got a problem with us.
Yes.
Because we're the ones that would rather not live by truth. We'd rather live by a lie.
Yes.
We want people. That's why we hop from church to church before we get the truth.
Mm-hmm.
We go. I don't like that pastor. You know, I like the church to say, "Come as you are, be as you want to be."
Yep.
You know, whatever pronoun you want to use, come on in.
Yep.
I don't want nobody to tell me I'm off. My lifestyle is off.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's what we want to hear. Y'all ain't praise dancing and twerking in here. I'm going somewhere else.
Praise dancing. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
People
saying?
like that. I need my own. Let me do my office. I'm gonna do my office in
Yeah.
a church.
Yeah, but people like to pick and choose.
Yeah.
They don't want to go somewhere that actually tells them the truth.
Yep.
Read on. That's why you look at mega churches. Mega churches preach for profit.
Everything's vanilla, bro.
They tell you about all the money that's coming in. God wants you to be wealthy. God wants prosperity over you. I'm gonna pray for prosperity over you. Then you preach that message. You got a full congregation that fill up a stadium.
Every time.
But when you start telling people the truth, numbers get real little.
It's true.
Read on.
nor mercy, nor knowledge,
And know what?
nor knowledge
Read on.
of the Most High in the land.
Go ahead.
By swearing
They be lying.
and
What else?
lying
Go ahead.
and killing
Go ahead.
and stealing
Go ahead.
and committing adultery.
That's what our people really want. We want that lifestyle. Read on.
They break out, and blood touches blood.
Read on.
Therefore,
We like that's you can pretty much call that the street life.
God,
We like the street life.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going down in the streets. Committing adultery, killing, lying, stealing, finessing, hustling, jacking, robbing. You know, that's pretty much the street life. We'd rather have a street life than have a straight and narrow life. Read on.
therefore shall the land mourn,
And for that reason, the Most High said the land's going to mourn. What else?
and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish.
And this is what we're reading in Jeremiah. This is why the conditions of Israel have to start falling apart. And it's got to get this bad. Read on.
with the beasts of the field,
And that's why the Most High said earlier, he's going to curse both man and beast. In Jeremiah, he said that too. Both going to suffer. The animals got to suffer.
Yep.
Read on.
There's supply.
Yeah. They maintain the wickedness. Read on.
and with the fowls of heaven, yea, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away.
And we know, you know what? And you can look at the number of massive animal die-offs that's going on right now. The numbers are staggering. They said there's whole species of animals that are disappearing. Whole species that don't even exist no more. Whales beach themselves, birds fall out the sky, massive fish die-offs. He said the Most High said, I'm gonna punish everything. Everything living has to die now. Read on.
Yet let no man strive, nor reprove another, for thy people are as they that strive with the priests.
They say, you know why you can't tell them nothing? Because they don't want to hear who.
The priests.
They don't want to hear. They don't want to hear the religious leaders. They don't want to hear the people no way. They don't want to hear the priests no way. And this is why Jeremiah, as dedicated as he's been to his nation, this is why a guy like Jeremiah get beat up and get thrown in prison. Because people don't want to hear what he has to say anyway. And you're going to be public enemy when you start telling people the truth. But then the Most High has to sting the conditions of the place. Go back to where we was at in Jeremiah.
Jeremiah 38 and 4.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we're at 4 from the top.
Yep, 4. Jeremiah 38 and 4. Therefore the princes said unto the king, we beseech thee, let this man be put to death. For thus he weakeneth the hands of the men of war that remaineth in the city,
Yep.
and the hands of all the people, in speaking such words unto them. For this man seeketh not the welfare of this people, but the hurt.
But he did seek the welfare. He was trying to save them from dying. He was trying to save them from starvation and pestilence and from getting burnt alive. He was looking after them. Read on.
It's so crazy.
What's that?
They made monuments. The Babylonians made monuments of how they destroyed the Hebrews out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the Most High allowed that so that we never forget that.
At mocking out. No doubt. But once again, these people were delusional, thinking that Jeremiah was hurting them, but he was trying to save them. Read verse 5.
Verse 5. Then Zedekiah the king said, behold, he is in your hand. For the king is not he that can do anything against you.
That just showed how weak Zedekiah is.
Wow.
How was Zedekiah saying, do what you guys going to do because I can't stop y'all anyway?
Wow.
This is how you know Zedekiah was a weak king. He allowed the princes to push him around. Zedekiah kept coming to Jeremiah asking for advice and counsel. Remember? What do you think we should do next? If it was about just him and Zedekiah would have listened. But the people and the influence was so great, he gave in to the influence of the princes and leaders to his demise. So Jeremiah is like, Zedekiah is like, do what you got to do. I can't control what you do anyway. Read on.
Then
This is when it gets bad. This is when it gets bad for Jeremiah at 60. Now he's got to be 60. Okay? So the intention now was to kill Jeremiah. They didn't want to sit back and just make him a martyr and kill him in front of everybody. They had to go torture him. Now we're going to torture him worse, and he was getting tortured in the land of Benjamin. Read verse 6.
Then took they Jeremiah and cast him into the dungeon of Malchiah, the son of Hamelech, that was in the court of the prison. And they let down Jeremiah with cords.
Listen, they put him in a dungeon. I look at it like a watering hole, like a well. Think of a well. And he had to draw a person down a well. But this well didn't have water. It was a well, dried up well at the bottom of the court. It was at the bottom of the prison. It was below the court. They drew him down like a well that didn't have water. Read on.
And he is like to die for hunger in the place where he is. For there is no more bread in the city.
No. Read verse 6 again.
Verse 6.
Yeah.
Then took they Jeremiah and cast him into the dungeon of Malchiah, the son of Hamelech, that was in the court of the prison. And they let down Jeremiah with cords. And
This is below the court. He was originally in the court. Now he's below the court, and they're bringing him down with cords. Okay? So they put opposite cords in his armpits, under his arms, and they brought him down. Okay? So he couldn't get out. He couldn't claw his way out. He's so far down, he's stuck. Read on.
And they let down Jeremiah with cords. And in the dungeon there was no water.
So there was no water in this dungeon. It used to be, I've read that it was an old cistern, which is an old well. It's an old well with no more water in the well. There's no more water, but what is it? Mire. It's mud and sludge and filth. And if you can think about it, this was a place where they put the worst of their prisoners in. And if they've put prior prisoners in this mire, and they're dragging you down or drawing you down with cords, how did you use the restroom? Where'd you use the restroom at? In this mire.
In the mud.
So the mire is mud and feces and urine that's been compacted over time and had no place to circulate and function out. Can you imagine like a porta potty without the blue
Ventilation.
no, not the ventilation, but that blue
chemical
liquid that kind of cuts down the poop and the
Bacteria.
filth and the bacteria? Can you imagine a porta potty that's just mud and crap? That's what it is. And you're going down like a well, like a watering well. And they're lowering him down into this watering well that is a mire of feces, urine,
And
throw up, methane gas.
It's like a gas chamber.
I know. This is the worst that anybody can get put into.
the smells, bro.
Listen. You have
The jail.
Hey, my nose is sensitive. Like, yeah. I'll be like, You try to.
like Rage in Harlem. No. Harlem Nights. Yeah, it's so hilarious. If you do that, you will at least inhale. Yeah, just take short breaths.
Yeah.
This is a great scene. Anyway, that's a great scene. This is a horrible set of circumstances that the princes of Jerusalem are doing to Jeremiah. They're taking him, drawing him down the well under the prison, and it's just mud. And the mire is like a quicksand,
Sewage, bro.
It's sewage and quicksand and mud. Yes.
That means they probably had it covered before they put him in. It was
Yeah.
So he's getting the full brunt.
Yes.
Concentrated.
This is the worst. Can you imagine this? And this is the reward you get for serving the Most High and doing the right thing. This is bad. That's why we always say that 144K is for guys like this. Not for us, What are we suffering that's close to this? Nothing. We ain't suffering nothing like this guy.
I was in traffic all day for God.
I had to counsel for 2 hours when I was tired, when I was fatigued. Get out of here, bro. That's all you got,
For God's sake.
I sat back here and gave my life to the truth. Who cares, bro? You sit back here and was wallowing in the mire for an undisclosed period of time. Don't forget, the siege was 18 months. How many months was he in this mire? You're just in feces. It ain't just yours, bro. You think it's just yours? You think it's just your feces? And just your urine? That alone will break you.
They had to be dumping other stuff down there.
It was all kind of sewage, bro. That's what I'm saying. And listen. So it says, in the dungeon there was no water. So there was no way to purify it out. Read on.
There was no water, but mire. So Jeremiah sunk in the mire.
He sunk in the mire. And it's going to tell you in the Josephus how deep he was stuck in the mire.
God, bro.
How much of his body was just in this quicksand mud where you can't even move around. Let's go to Josephus.
This is good to know, bro. Because you know what? It brings a reality that it lets you know
You ain't done nothing.
that you have
You ain't done nothing.
You have not made it to the pinnacle of
You have not
righteousness.
resisted unto death.
Yeah.
At all. So what do you got here,
Break
bro?
him or they're trying to kill him at this point.
They were trying to kill him and break him. Because they were like, you're going to sit back and die of asphyxiation, sepsis. Listen, all that gets in your bloodstream.
Why not kill him though?
This is worse.
Torture. Kill him is easy.
That's easy, bro. And you make a martyr of him.
Okay.
You make a martyr of him, you kill him. You got to sit back. He's a jailbird. He's going to die in jail like everybody else.
And maybe they can get him to turn back on what he's saying.
Con.
Turn back on his prophecy.
Con.
Now I ain't turning.
I can break this guy.
You know, plus you got to think about the mockery that you're going to have. You in the prison already, then people leaning over saying, hey, Jeremiah, you hungry? How you feel down there?
Listen,
You're getting clowned, too. You're getting clowned and mocked knowing you're hungry, man.
Listen, even the hunger thing. Listen, let's just read this in Jeremiah. This is, in the Josephus, This is the worst. This is the worst that something can happen to a person in a prison. Read on.
Line 114. When Jeremiah said this, the greater part believed him, but the rulers and those that were wicked despised him, and one disordered in senses. Am I in the right spot?
No, you gotta go further down.
My bad.
But they came to the king, and in their anger informed him what Jeremiah said, and accused him, and complained of the prophet as of a madman.
You're in 119.
I got you.
You're in 119. Line 119.
I see it. Okay. Line 119. Yet did not these rulers who heard believe him, even when they were in the midst of their sore calamities. But they came to the king, and in their anger informed him what Jeremiah said, and accused him and complained of the prophet as of a madman, and as one that dishearteneth their minds. And by the denunciation of miseries weakened the alacrity of the multitude.
And the priests were like, listen, Jeremiah's weakening the hearts and minds of everybody. We got to get rid of this guy. He's breaking the will for Israel to fight and not just give in to the Babylonians.
Yeah.
So we gotta nullify him to keep everybody's spirits up. Read on.
Who were otherwise ready to expose themselves to dangers for him.
He says they're all ready to throw it away and just serve the Babylonians. So we got to sit back here and get everybody's mind fixated on hunkering down and outlasting these Babylonians. Read on.
And for their country, while he, in a way of threatening, warned them to fly to the enemy, and told them that the city should certainly be taken and be utterly destroyed.
So he says Jeremiah is sitting back here and saying the city's going to be destroyed and to give in. We can't do that. Read on.
Paragraph 5. But for the king himself, he was not at all irritated against Jeremiah.
Zedekiah didn't have a problem. He couldn't control the leadership. He couldn't control the princes.
Now, I'm going to this point too, and this is understand as far as and this might not be on the topic exactly 100%, but the benefit of being righteous is that you held the line for the Father.
Mm-hmm.
There's a spiritual reward for that. But when you're in wicked times with wicked people, you have to suffer with the wicked.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, people have to suffer for other people's negatives. But the question is, who are you? What in the end of the day? What and who are you standing for?
Yep. And
That's the reward.
can you live with the loss that comes from sitting up for what's right?
Come on.
Well, let's keep going.
Such was his gentle and righteous disposition, yet that he might not be engaged in a quarrel with those rulers at such a time.
Meaning King Zedekiah had a good disposition towards Jeremiah, but he didn't have the heart to stand up against the other rulers and priests. Read on.
By opposing what they intended.
And that made him a weak king. Strong, great kings didn't give a damn what other oppositional forces they had to conquer and deal with for the sake of having a unified nation and a city. They were willing to go to war for the right reasons. Read on.
He let them do with the prophet whatsoever they would. Whereupon, when the king had granted them such a permission, they presently came into the prison and took him, and let him down with a cord into a pit full of mire.
Keep going.
That he might be suffocated and die of himself.
All you smell is toxic fumes. Read on.
So he stood up to the neck in the mire.
His neck, bro. His whole body was immersed in feces, urine, poisons, toxins to the neck, bro. Your whole body is immersed in this filth. Imagine if you had some cuts and bruises.
Oh, you got worms. You got worms. You got maggots on you.
I know, bro. You got maggots. You got worms. Your cuts are getting infected. You're getting infections all in your body.
You might not make it.
That's the point. You're getting infections your whole body, and you're just standing in the mire. And it's hard. It starts to, you can barely move around it. It's hard mud, man. You're just stuck in this hard mire.
It's worse than quicksand.
Because you're standing in it. You can't, and then you're standing. There's no rest. You're going to sit back and like put your whole face in it and relax and take a knee? You ain't taking no knee either. You can't take a knee. So you're just standing in mire.
Yep. And
for months. You're standing for months. How about that? And if you relax a little bit, you'll get a little poo-poo in your mouth, man.
You doze off a little bit.
If you doze off a little and you can't wipe your hands with it because your hands are full of it. You're catching hell.
You got flies in your eyes, man. You're kind of blinking them away.
This is the worst.
It's the worst, bro.
This is, you're not sleeping. You're standing in poop and feces. And it's almost like a mud, but it's almost like your body gets stuck in the mire. After a while, it's not like you can just freely flow. It's not like wet. It's hard.
Yeah, you know, quicksand. People that fall in quicksand talk about how fast you burn out of energy. They said the quicksand will steal your energy within seconds. If your legs will turn into concrete because the compression around your body and you trying to move against it, every time you move, the fluid flows into it and you just get it acts as a vacuum.
Yes.
So your body becomes compressed in it, and so you lose circulation and you lose the ability to have strength. It takes your strength away.
You know why? When they do get him out, it says it took 30 men to pull him out.
30 men, that's a lot of pressure.
You know why? Because he couldn't move. Anyway, he couldn't move.
Yes, the suction. Yes.
I know.
Because
so he couldn't move anyway.
And imagine how painful it was on his joints to be pulled out.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Huh?
come.
No, it was just him, bro. Oh. It was him. It was just him, and it was dark. You can't see. Your senses are all jacked up. You can't rest. All you smell is crap. When you use the restroom, you just use the restroom on yourself. Your whole body is breaking down. You're withering. You can't eat. There's nothing to eat.
And you're waterlogged.
Your feet. You got all kind of infections on your body and your feet. This is you. They're just trying to slowly kill you. Yes.
All that acid is to eat away at your skin.
I know you're going to have the crazy sores and lesions. And then when these sores open up, there's more poison and toxins going into the sores. It doesn't get much worse than this.
They have a job in Mexico. It's one of the dirtiest jobs in all of Mexico.
Micro stuff out.
No, it's in Mexico City. They got the city sewer, that controls the whole city sewer, and sometimes the drain gets clogged up. So they got to put a man in a suit inside of a cage, and he's in a cage, and they have to let him down with a crane into the sewer in Mexico, and he has to go in and jar away with a chemical suit on. He's completely covered in a suit, but he has to go in there and pull away the debris out of the drain hole so that the sewage can flow back in.
What if it avalanches on you? Huh?
Well, they say that most people with one cut, because it's not just sewage, it's chemicals, it's paint, it's toxins, it's poisons, it's every chemical you could think of in the city sewer. And then, Mexico City is the big city too.
Yeah.
And they say that if there's one cut that gets into the suit, that he'll die just from the contamination on his skin. So most people don't do the job because it's really a one-way job.
I need $1 million. Yes. Give me $1 million.
Right. That is, you get one cut. You get one cut on the suit, they're dead. So this job is known as the worst job you could ever have in Mexico City. And you got to get let down in a cage, and you got to find out what's clogging the drain once they let you down in the bottom, and you got to try to pull it away. There's car parts, there's dead bodies, all kind of stuff in the sewer. So you got to pull out whatever's clogging it up. And they said that is the worst job in all of Mexico.
And listen, and Jeremiah is surrounded with cuts in his body. The skin's exposed to all of this mire, bro. His skin is fully exposed to it. And like I said, he ain't the first person to be in jail there. So they let whatever mire was in there, the first person, or the last 10 people was still there, bro. And you adding your dung and your feces and all your sickness in there too. You don't think he's throwing up? You don't think that's a real thing?
How's he eating?
But the question is, if they do bring him some food down there and they shimmy it down, how you gonna grab it?
You couldn't eat it, bro.
How you gonna grab it? With the poo-poo hand out?
Instantly contaminated. That.
You're instantly contaminating your biscuit.
Yeah. They'd have to let that biscuit down on another rope.
And you better grab with your hand.
You bobbing for bread.
If you ain't getting it with your hand,
yeah.
Listen, the mire's at your neck.
Yeah. That's tough, bro. That's a tough call, man.
Listen, how he lasted psychologically, how he stayed pure of thought, how he kept looking at things, how he kept looking at the Most High in good graces. It doesn't go into it, but that is amazing how he stayed strong. Because as you're going to read, he almost deteriorated. He deteriorated almost to death. And an Ethiopian eunuch, a non-Israelite, you're going to read, has to go to King Zedekiah and say, listen, man, if you don't get him out, he's going to die. And also, a nation had to look after our people more than our own people.
There's no mercy.
It gives you that, like how I talk about the Good Samaritan. A lot of times, the nations have more love for our people than we got for our people.
That's facts.
We can talk about the nations all damn day long. The nations most of the time got more love for us than we do. And that's sad. Give me paragraph 5 again, bro.
Josephus, paragraph 5, page 274. But for the king himself, he was not at all irritated against Jeremiah. Such was his gentle and righteous disposition. Yet, that he might not be enraged in a quarrel with those rulers at such a time, by opposing what they intended, he let them do with the prophet whatsoever they would. I'm sorry, can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
Did Zedekiah, did he know what they were going to do to Jeremiah?
Yeah. Well, first of all, they told Zedekiah they wanted to kill him. That's what the scripture said. Zedekiah let the mob get what they want. Give it to him. Read on.
Line 121.
So he told him it was okay to kill him. Read on.
Whereupon, when the king had granted them such a permission, they presently came into the prison and took him, and let him down with a cord into a pit full of mire, that he might be suffocated and die of himself. So he stood up to the neck in the mire, which was all about him, and so continued. But there was one of the king's servants who was in esteem with him, an Ethiopian.
So there was this Ethiopian eunuch that respected Jeremiah, a non-Israelite that had more love for Jeremiah than any other Israelite in the nation. Read on.
An Ethiopian by descent, who told the king what a state the prophet was in, and said that his friends and his rulers had done evil in putting the prophet into the mire, and by the means contriving against him that he should suffer a death more bitter than that by his bonds only.
He said, listen, everybody's being besieged. Everybody's starving. He's starving and in up to his neck in feces and excrement and just sickness. He had it even worse than the people. It just lets you know the Most High puts his prophets through greater scenarios than the regular people all the time, man. And we have to prepare our mind to sit back and endure whatever is necessary to get the message brought out at all costs. But once again, how he kept it together mentally and spiritually, I don't know, bro. I don't know. Let's keep going.
Line 123. When the king heard this.
Stop real quick. Before we go there, let's read the scriptures. Hold that. When the king heard this, let's go to Jeremiah 38 in verse 7.
Now, when Edebamelech, the Ethiopian, one of the eunuchs, which was in the king's house, heard that they had put Jeremiah in the dungeon, the king then sitting in the gate of Benjamin.
This is why a lot of times you got to read that. Josephus gives a little bit more picture about how bad it was in that mire, bro. Read on.
Edebamelech went forth out of the king's house and spake to the king, saying, My lord the king, these men have done evil in all that they have done to Jeremiah the prophet, whom they have cast into the dungeon, and he is like to die for hunger in the place where he is, for there is no more bread in the city.
So there's no food. He's in all this poison and sickness, all the smells. He says, he's going to die. Read on.
Then the king commanded Edebamelech the Ethiopian, saying, Take from hence 30 men, with thee, Salakia, saying, Take from hence 30 men with thee, and take up Jeremiah the prophet out of the dungeon before he died.
It took 30 men to take him out of this mud pit. 30 strong men to pull him out of this mud because it was like a tomb for him.
How long was it for?
Didn't say. It just said he didn't have any food and he was about to die. That could have been weeks. Yes.
So that's the same miry clay that the Bible speaks of, right?
Nope.
No.
Different. This is mire, and it was hard, and he couldn't move. Miry clay is moldable. This is mire, and it took 30 minutes to pull him out because it was like quicksand. He was just stuck in it in case of feces out. And it took 30 minutes to get him out. So read verse. You got something to say, John? I'm sorry.
No.
Verse 11.
In verse 11. So Edebamelech took the men with him, and went into the house of the king under the treasury, and took hence out old cast clouts in old rotten rags, and let them down by cords into the dungeon to Jeremiah. And Edebamelech the Ethiopian said unto Jeremiah, Put now these old cast clouts in rotten rags under thine armholes, under the cords. And Jeremiah did so.
So he said, take these rags and put them under your arms. So when these cords come down, you can put the cords on top of the rags, so you don't get this chafing burning as they're pulling you up. Okay? Read on.
So they drew Jeremiah with cords, and took him up out of the dungeon. And Jeremiah remained in the court of the prison.
They just took him up, cleaned him up, and just threw him back in gin Popeye.
Wow, it's better. Damn.
But listen, you're still jacked up. Your sores and your body, and you're 60 years old. You're 60 years old going through this, huh? How he got through it was the grace of the Most High. How he stayed spiritually strong was a testament to his faith in the Most High.
Scripture says, the spirit of a man shall sustain his infirmities.
Kinda.
You got to be spiritually committed to the Most High to convince yourself that this is okay.
and I can get through this.
Yeah, that
And
this
if
is
the
just.
Most High takes me, He just takes me.
Yep.
You don't think He came to that realization? This might be where I die at. This might be my tomb. Think about this. If He died, how would they get Him out? They wouldn't. That's the answer. They wouldn't. You couldn't get Him out. Remember, you had to sit back and bring cords down. How would you get your arms up to get the cords on you? That was going to be your tomb. Can you imagine that? Yes,
That was the purpose of the rags.
Yeah.
Because that mire was so thick that they would have pulled him up without any support. It would have broke off his limbs.
Bro. Like I said, and if you were dead, how are they going to get the cords on you? Who's going to jump down that? Who going to jump out of that shit bucket and pull you out? Nobody's pulling you out of
They
that
say,
shit
man,
bucket.
put some dirt on it.
They're going to say, put some dirt, some semen on it, and we're going to forget about it. This is his prison. This is his tomb. And you don't think that's going through his head? Like this could be where I die. And nobody's getting you up.
He has plenty of time to think about it.
Nobody's getting me out of this. Nobody's getting me. I'm going to die here in shit.
Even if it wasn't shit, just to know you stuck somewhere. You know, I read about these cave explorers that get stuck in caves.
Oh yeah, those are crazy stories.
Then they got to leave them in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, then they.
In Europe, right? One of
Yeah,
those in Europe?
the guy that was inverted.
Yeah.
They just left him in there. They just
Sealed it
they
up.
just sealed it up. They say he couldn't get him out. He was at an angle. His head was at an angle.
Blood pool.
His blood pooled, and as they left him in there, cased him up.
Around Christmas, too.
Was it?
Yeah, it was on Saturnalia.
Why are you smiling, man?
Yeah, he's singing carols and shit.
And the shoe fits.
Yeah, you know that's the cost of but that's for foolishness. You know what I'm saying? But when you gotta die for righteousness, you've been doing right the whole time. It's different.
I know, bro.
It hit a little different when you ain't did nothing
I feel a
wrong.
lot different.
Yeah, you know you don't deserve it. It's like, man, I didn't really deserve this.
All I did was tell the people I was supposed to tell the right thing.
Yep.
But the Most High still looked out, and they pulled him out of this mire with 30 men. That's a lot of horsepower, right? And these guys were pulling and pulling and pulling. That's how deep he was stuck in that. He couldn't move, right?
Even that's traumatic, guy, because you're talking about your joints.
And that's what Pastor Paul was saying. I know.
Even
At
with
60.
even with the cough, it's still going to be traumatic on the limbs.
Brother, you know what? Your body ain't moved in however long. There's possible atrophy going on there, right?
I'm thinking about all of us having to pull one person out of a thing right now. All of us right
That's
now
my point.
having to pull. That's crazy.
It takes that many people.
And, he's so weak, it's not like he could help.
I know.
Pull himself. He just got to be like dead weight.
He's a 60-year-old man, huh?
His lip, huh?
Damn, bro. So, gets verse 13 again. I'm sorry.
In 13. So they drew up Jeremiah with cords and took him up out of the dungeon. And Jeremiah remained in the court of the prison. Then Zedekiah the king sent and took Jeremiah the prophet unto him into the third entry that is in the house of the Most High.
So then he sat back here. He got him in jail, put him in gin pop, cleaned him up a little bit, I guess. And then Zedekiah the king sent for Jeremiah to meet him in the house of the Lord. Okay, read on.
And the king said unto Jeremiah, I will ask thee a thing. Hide nothing from me. Then Jeremiah said unto Zedekiah, if I declare it unto thee, wilt thou not surely put me to death?
Hell yeah, I'm going to say that. What good is me telling you the truth? You almost died damn a day ago. Now you want some answers. Now you want me to do the monkey dance and give you prophecy. And then when you don't like what I tell you, gonna kill me. That's exactly what Jeremiah said. Listen, what good is me telling you the truth? All I do is getting killed for it. Jay, don't hide anything from me. Okay, well, I didn't hide anything from you last week.
You can't take it.
Or a month ago. And what happened? You see where his mind is at? Then why should I sit back and tell you anything? No, I didn't get any word from the Lord. I don't know nothing. That's what you want to say. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing, B. But you know, it didn't go that way. He just said, listen, if I'm going to tell you what I'm going to tell you, are you going to kill me? Read verse 15 again from the top.
15 from the top. Then Jeremiah said unto Zedekiah, if I declare it unto thee, wilt thou not surely put me to death?
Come on, bro.
And if I give thee counsel, wilt thou not hearken unto me? So Zedekiah...
You're not going to listen? Are you going to kill me if I tell you the truth? And are you going to listen if I tell you the truth? Those are real questions. Read on.
God. So Zedekiah the king swears secretly unto Jeremiah.
Everything's a secret. I'm running from the damn priest. I'm running from the princes. I'm scared of them. So in the secret, I swear I won't have anything happen to you. Read on.
Saying, as the Most High liveth, that made us this soul, I will not put thee to death.
But listen, you might not do it, but these goons might.
This honorable man saying, I swear on.
You let the goons do what they had to do to me. What's that?
No, he said a dishonorable man.
Yeah, it's the truth. Read on.
Will I not put thee to death? Neither will I give thee into the hand of these men that seek thy life.
Okay. Read on.
Then said Jeremiah unto Zedekiah, thus saith the Most High, the power of hosts, the power of Israel. If thou wilt assuredly go forth unto the king of Babylon's princes, then thy soul shall live.
You still got to give up. Wave the white flag. I'm quadrupling down. This is why you read Ezekiel. He said the prophet's head's got to be adamant because they're flint. The people kept doubling down on their position. The man, the Most High, had to triple down on their position. This is Jeremiah being adamant, and everybody else in Israel being flint. Read on.
From the top.
Yeah.
17 from the top. Then said Jeremiah unto Zedekiah, thus saith the Most High, the power of hosts, the power of Israel. If thou wilt assuredly go forth unto the king of Babylon's princes, then thy soul shall live. And this city shall not be burned with fire, and thou shalt live in thine house. But if thou wilt not go forth to the king of Babylon's princes, then shall this city be given into the hand of the Chaldeans, and they shall burn it with fire, and thou shalt not escape out of their hand.
Hold this and finish Josephus, the 5th paragraph, sir.
Yeah.
So listen, so he's telling Zedekiah how it is, bro. Give up, and you and your family and the people around you can still live. You'll just be servants. Give up. What you gonna say? Keep going, Naga. And yours.
Page 274, line 123, the end of paragraph 5. When the king heard this, he repented of his having delivered up the prophet to the rulers, and bade the Ethiopian take 30 men of the king's guards and cords with them, and whatsoever else they understood to be necessary for the prophet's preservation, and to draw him up immediately. So the Ethiopian took the men that he was ordered to take, and drew up the prophet out of the mire, and left him at liberty in the prison.
Do paragraph 6.
Paragraph 6. But when the king had sent to call him privately, and inquired what he could say to him from the Most High, which might be suitable to his present circumstances, and desired him to inform him of it, Jeremiah replied that he had somewhat to say, but he said withal, he should not be believed, nor if he admonished them, should be hearkened to.
I don't believe your promises, and you're not going to listen to me anyway. Read on.
For said he, thy friends have determined to destroy me, as though I had been guilty of some wickedness. And where are now those men who deceived us, and said that the king of Babylon would not come and fight against us anymore? But I am afraid now to speak the truth, lest thou shouldest condemn me to die. And when the king had assured him upon oath that he would neither himself put him to death, nor deliver him up to the rulers, he became bold upon that assurance that was given him, and gave him this advice, that he should deliver the city up to the Babylonians. And he said that it was God who prophesied this by him, that he must do so, if he would be preserved and escape out of the danger he was in. And that then neither should the city fall to the ground, nor should the temple be burned. But that, if he disobeyed, he would he would be the cause of these miseries coming upon the citizens, and of the calamity that would befall his whole house. When the king heard this, he said that he would willingly do what he persuaded him to, and what he declared would be to his advantage.
So Zedekiah said, I'll do it. But obviously he talks to the princes and things change. Hold this. Let's go back in the scriptures and go kind of along with it. Jeremiah 38 and verse 19.
Jeremiah 38:19. And Zedekiah the king said unto Jeremiah, I am afraid of the Jews that are fallen to the Chaldeans, lest they deliver me into their hand, and they mock me.
Because what he's saying is, if I listen to you, Jeremiah, these other princes are going to deliver me to the king of the Chaldeans. They're going to turn on me. If I sit back here and don't listen to these princes, I've given them too much power. Now they have leverage over me. Now they're going to push me around now. So if I listen to you, they're going to get me. This is where he's at. They're not going to let him. He's like, the princes are not going to let me turn myself in. Read on.
But Jeremiah said, they shall not deliver thee. Obey, I beseech thee, the voice of the Most High, which I speak unto thee. So it shall be well unto thee, and thy soul shall live.
He's like, listen, just listen to me. Don't worry about these dudes. The Most High will sit back here and be there for you. But this guy ran his whole kingdom off of following men. He never learned to serve the Most High. So if you don't learn and you don't practice day to day with serving the Most High, then what ends up happening? You're going to lean to fleshly decisions. Every little thing you go through in your life is how you learn faith. Every small experience that you overcome in faith develops you for the next step.
Yeah.
And then you have another scenario where you have to learn faith. You learn it, then you go to the next step, and then the next step, and then the next step. And then when it's time to make the big decision, you have enough small experience in faith to sit back and lean on to the Most High when it really counts. But Zedekiah hadn't built up those experiences in having faith and following the Heavenly Father.
He neglected his opportunities. The scripture says, observe the opportunity. You're supposed to be looking on a daily basis for the opportunity to exercise your spiritual muscles. The Bible says having his senses exercised. Your senses are your spiritual understanding that comes from the scriptures or class. What you get from class, personal understanding, personal studies, and your counsels, you're supposed to get that, put in your head, and look for daily opportunities to exercise your spiritual acumen or sharpness. And because you're going to need that sharpness for the next battle coming down the line, a month, a week, or a day from now.
No doubt.
But we don't think like that because we're so caught up in running and resisting and
running from pain.
Yeah, we're so
running from pains, running from inconvenience.
Yeah.
Worrying about loss.
Yeah.
The loss, the sacrifices, those are the things that build your faith. Zedekiah kept running from the cut.
Yeah.
Running from the loss, running from the lesson. So when it's really time to have faith, he doesn't have anything to hold on to.
That's that oil that we read about when you deal with the 10 virgins. 5 were wise, 5 were foolish. These scriptures just give you the dynamic of the time. At this time, there was that 5 wise, 5 foolish. The men that took the opportunity and developed and hardened their spirit. And the men that did.
And the experience is what you need. You need those experiences in faith to learn faith on a higher level. And the truth is, you can teach faith, but you got to live it. You got to have those experiences of the Most High coming through for you when you didn't know He was going to come, in order to propel you to the next step when you're in a situation where you haven't seen the Most High come through and He comes through for you. We all need those experiences to be strong in faith.
Because it's about your personal testimony.
You can have all the knowledge in the world. You can have knowledge in scriptures and verses, but if you don't have those experiences, the experiences and you seeing the Most High come through for you propels you to the next level.
Yes. And that's one thing the church has right. The churchianity, or whatever we call it, they do have this element right. And it's about your testimony. They focus on that testimony element. And they focus also on thanking the Most High and being grateful.
Yep.
Now, I'm not saying they're 100% execution of the law and the information, the knowledge, they know the nationality, But listen, bro, right is right, wrong is wrong, bro. We can't operate here and not build your testimony. We can't operate in this unthankful nature.
God.
We can't hate when people give us advice that goes against our natural comforts.
So Zedekiah, he believes what Jeremiah is saying, but he doesn't have the fortitude to stick to the message and put his foot down and take the risk of loss.
Mm-hmm.
This is where King Zedekiah is being exposed. I don't have enough faith to trust that the Most High will come through for me if I stand up against this force of priests and princes. I don't have the faith. I didn't build myself up for this situation. So I agree with you, but I don't got it in me to execute.
Ecclesiastes chapter 27, verse 3.
$27.
27, verse 3. Page 86. In the Apocrypha Red Book. Read that.
Sirach 27:3. Unless a man hold himself diligently in the fear of the Most High.
They said you got to hold yourself diligently in the fear of the Lord. You got to fear the Lord at all times. Read on.
His house shall soon be overthrown.
And nothing can compromise that fear of the Most High. Read verse 1.
In verse 1. Many have sinned for a small matter, and he that seeketh for abundance will turn his eyes away.
And what he's saying is, a lot of times the reason why we don't hold ourselves in the fear of the Lord is because we're too distracted with gain. We're too distracted with what we have, what we're trying to accomplish to our advantage. He said our accomplishments and what we're trying to gain keeps us from fearing the Lord and locking ourselves down to following counsels. He said the man that seeks abundance shall turn his eyes away. What that means is a man that seeks abundance don't want to lose. And because I don't want to lose, that means I can be bought.
Yep.
And this is what's happening with Zedekiah. The princes and the rulers are buying Jeremiah's allegiance now. Zedekiah's allegiance, because he didn't keep himself in the fear of the Lord. Therefore, he's afraid now to execute proper judgment. He knows what Jeremiah is saying is right. He just can't do it because he never held himself in the fear of the Lord. So now he's bought by the pressure, by peer pressure.
Yep.
He don't want to lose his position.
Yep.
Now he'll be cast out as king.
Yep.
He'll lose his authority. He'll lose his finances. He'll lose his family, his wealth.
Yep. His respect.
Now he's in a situation where he has to compromise.
Yep.
See, but if you hold yourself in the fear of the Lord, there is no compromise. So if you lose, you lose. If you lose, so be it. The Most High, let the Most High restore it.
Yep.
But if not, then you're vulnerable to being bought, persuaded, bribed.
Yep.
Somebody
Controlled.
can throw some money at you.
Mm-hmm.
Get controlled, manipulated.
Yep.
Now somebody can buy your allegiance. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's happening with. He's afraid to lose right now.
No doubt. You get one?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go now. Let's continue in Jeremiah 38 and verse 21.
38:21. But if thou refuse to go forth, this is the word of the Most High. This is the word that the Most High hath showed me.
If you don't listen to me and you refuse to just give in to Babylon and just be a slave, be a servant to Babylon and get sent to Babylon, read on.
And behold, all the women that are left in the king of Judah's house shall be brought forth to the king of Babylon's princes.
He's like, I'm gonna get more. I'm gonna bring it home to you now. He says, if you don't give in, the prince is taking all your women.
It's real.
All your family's women. All women in your house are going to be the Babylonian princes for whatever they want to do to them. I'm gonna bring. He says, if you sit back and humble yourself down, they're spared, and they'll just be servants in their land. They'll be servants in their land versus their concubines in their land.
The worst.
Which one do you want? He's trying to paint it as clear as possible. You want your daughters and your sisters and your cousins to be bed wenches to these Babylonian heathens?
For nations.
Is that what you want? Because you're afraid? He's like, I gotta sit back here and go at this guy's man pride. You want your women to get used up and ran through by these Babylonians? Stand up and be a man. And go against these princes. He'll go with whatever kind of motivation he can go to shake him out of his head. So read verse 22 again.
22 from the top. And behold, all the women that are left in the king of Judah's house shall be brought forth to the king of Babylon's princes.
All the royal women are going to be ran through and just be concubines. Read on.
And those women shall say, thy friends have set thee on, and have prevailed against thee. Thy feet are sunk in the mire, and they are turned away back.
Bro, keep going.
So they shall bring out all thy wives and thy children to the Chaldeans, and thou shalt not escape out of their hand, but shalt be taken by the hand of the king of Babylon.
He's like, all the people that you love, your family, they're going to sit back here and suffer. Do it for them. You're like, do it for them, if anything. If you can't find it in you to send them to these princes, stand up to these princes and priests for the women in your household.
They're gonna blame it on you anyway.
They're gonna blame it on you anyway.
They said they're gonna know it's your fault. You was bought by your friends.
Bro.
You fell in and gave in to peer pressure.
Let's read verse 22 again. Because you're right. I want to bring that point out. You need to bring that point out.
22 from the top. And behold, all of the women that are left in the king of Judah's house shall be brought forth to the king of Babylon's princes.
So they're going to be crying, sad, broken, used up, ran through. And when they're in Babylon, being concubines to the Babylonian princes, they're going to say this. Read on.
And those women shall say, thy friends
Zedekiah, we're in this jacked up situation, getting used and abused and violated by these Babylonians because Zedekiah's friends, read on.
Thy friends have set thee on.
Because Zedekiah's friends controlled him.
Set you up.
Zedekiah was a little, you know what, was a chump. Zedekiah was a pushover and let his friends rule him and dominate him. And all of us are now in the princes under the rule of these Babylonians because of Zedekiah. Because he couldn't just stand up for what was right. Read on.
And have prevailed against thee.
And have prevailed against thee. Their way overruled the king. How does that even make sense? The princes overruled the king's moves. Read on.
Thy feet are sunk in the mire.
He's like, your feet are sunk in the mire. You can't move. You're crippled. You're crippled by the prince's decisions. You can't make any strong move. I know what the hell mire feels like.
Yeah.
You're like, I know what mire feels like. Your feet are in the mire. And these princes have stuck you in the mire.
So what, like he dug in a fade? Were they gonna box him?
Yeah, you know what they're gonna do? Yes.
Where's he running from?
You gotta understand this. Back in the day, he did deals with these princes to keep him in power and keep him strong. He was a weak leader.
Right.
And because he was a weak leader, these princes were the ones pushing his buttons. They were the ones making the moves behind the scenes. He was listening to them the whole time.
You know what I'm saying? So if he go there, they gonna kill him. They gonna beat him up.
They might throw him in jail.
Okay.
They might send him off. They might send him off and call him treasonous,
All right.
like they just did Jeremiah. What did they do to Jeremiah?
Right.
He was in a stink box for a month.
Right.
They can just say what he's saying is these guys got power over me. They might have control over the military. They might have power over the army. Maybe they're just using me as a puppet king.
He's scared to even go over there, not even to say it.
He's scared to say, listen, he's talking to Jeremiah and hidden. Nobody knows it's happening. He's hiding. So he's talking to him in silence. Nobody has to know this. Nobody can. You can read it. He says, you can't tell anybody we had a conversation, Jeremiah. He literally tells Jeremiah that. You can't tell. He says, the prince is going to ask you what we talked about. You got to say, we talked about nothing. This is how scared he is of the princes. But that's how he built his court.
They got out of hand. Huh?
It got out of hand. Now they run the whole thing. And the only way he can control it, he got to destroy everybody around him. But it's too late. They got too much power over him.
Never stood up nothing.
They got leverage on him. They got pictures on him.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't want to go into this. But this is how nations and how countries get power over other countries. You see what I'm saying? I won't go there. I won't go there. What's that at?
He's got to build back better.
Yeah? Well, listen. Yeah, I won't go there. The point is, they got leverage over him.
Yeah.
They have leverage over him.
They can blackmail him.
That's what I see. He's pulling me into it now. That's what I'm pulling.
No,
You're right. You are right. This
I'm gonna leave it at that.
This is how they get government officials even now to do what they're doing. I'm not going to go into what they're doing.
The class point will just.
Okay, we'll go into.
No. I'm saying it go that direction. We'll lose the
Then we'll stick to the impact. You're right. But we're going to go into that one day. We will go into
but it's not today.
Okay, I agree. But he was stuck in the mire, and he was powerless to establish leverage over the princes. What he should have did is what Hezekiah and what Josiah did is off rip. He cut their legs off. Remember what Josiah was doing? He sat back and did raids at these people's houses, looking for idols. He sat back and did some damn communist shit. We go to your crib. If there's any religious paraphernalia, you're out of here. You're going to the gulag, Zach. That's how they got you in Russia. You going to gulag, Zach. You will never be seen again. And all of a sudden, there will be peace. This is what they did. But they were breaking idols, going to houses. If they saw idols, you was getting wiped out. And everybody all of a sudden just went underground and shut their mouth. At least they knew there was lines we couldn't cross with this king. He never established boundaries, even in relationships and friendships. You sit back here and don't establish boundaries in relationships, people keep crossing them. But then imagine having a relationship and you let people do what they want for 2 years. And all of a sudden you want to tighten up one day.
Too late.
It's too late. It's the same thing in a marriage. You sit back here and let your woman talk to you how you want to talk, and all of a sudden, from here on out, I'm putting my foot down.
I will not
6
accept
months
this.
And you're going to be going to war for flipping months.
10 years later.
Yes, because you opened the door early. You have to lay the law down early or it's going to be constant seditions. So this is where he's in. And he's like, man, and he's already multiple times backed their plays to suppress anybody that's anti this message. Is that?
Did you already go over how he was a puppet?
Yeah, but that was
his name.
Yeah, but that was other. Yeah, he was already weak leading up to this. But don't forget, he was getting pushed around. He's been getting pushed around Babylon, Egypt. He was just getting molded across the board. And they knew he was weak. You know, now I'm going to be strong. He didn't have it in him. And he's like, these women that are captives in another land are going to say, man, you were in the mire. You couldn't move. They controlled you, and you were crippled to their whims. Let's continue.
I'll bring something up in a second.
He says, and they are turned away back. What was you going to say?
No, just on this point, what you're saying is people in this position. Christ spoke about it also in Matthew 23. Go to Matthew chapter 23 real quick. Try to make this as fast as possible.
Yep.
Matthew 23. Start at verse 28.
Matthew 23 and 28. Even so, ye also outwardly appear righteous unto men.
It says the problem is men care too much about looking right. They don't care about righteousness. They just care too much about how they look. And how they look is too important. It's so important that they compromise righteousness because they care so much about how they look. They don't want to look bad. They don't want to look bad. They don't want to feel bad. I want to look like I have power. I want to look like I'm righteous. I want to look clean. I want to hold up a certain image. Christ was dealing with this with the Pharisees. These are men that have power. They have rulership. They're the judges of the people at the time. They have the power to execute judgment. But they really didn't care about the people, what was good for the people. They cared more about their position and how they looked in their position. And this is what Christ is attacking specifically. And he's going to show you how this ties in with what we're reading in Jeremiah. Read on.
But within ye are full of hypocrisy.
It says, but this is what Zedekiah is like. You're a king, but you have no authority.
Yep.
You're a king, but you've already been bought by the princes, by your peers. You won't execute judgment. So even your judgment looks like hypocrisy because you don't stand by anything.
Yep.
Like you said, there's no lines drawn.
I'm like Joe Biden, man.
Right. Joe Biden.
I get that.
Joe show, man.
I'm sorry.
You know, my son. I tell you, man.
I feel like down y'all right now. Talking about Biden act.
Keep going. Read on.
But within ye are full of hypocrisy.
He said, within you is full of what?
Hypocrisy.
Read on.
And iniquity.
Read on.
Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees.
It says, that's why Christ said, destruction unto you, scribes and Pharisees. You care more about how you look than actually what judgment is. What judgment is. Yes, sir.
And these men have fringes on.
Right. Oh yeah. These
was fringes.
they had the longest. They had the longest fringes on.
Longest.
Yeah. Christ had dealt with that about having the long phylacteries and the long borders. Go ahead.
And I say that too, because that's the big deal now. Everybody, where your fringes at?
Oh man, that's been a big deal for a minute, but that doesn't mean righteousness. Because inwardly, what's going on the inside? Are you compromised? Read on.
Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because ye build the tombs of the prophets.
And this is where he's saying is all you're doing is doing something that your forefathers did already. He's saying by you not executing true judgment to the people, making decisions that salvage the people more than preserve your image. All you're doing is building again the graves of the prophets that was destroyed by the men that was doing this in Jeremiah's time, in Isaiah's time. Read on.
And garnish the sepulchres of the righteous.
It says, and you decorating funeral halls. You're decorating cemeteries. Read on.
And say, if we had been in the days of our fathers.
Because you say, this is what Christ is dealing with. The Pharisees say, if we was alive back then, during Isaiah's time, during Jeremiah's time, during Hosea's time, during Daniel's time, during Ezekiel's time, if we was alive back then, read on.
We would not have been partakers with them in the blood of the prophets.
We would have never put the prophets to death. But what Christ is saying is you're duplicating the actions of those same men who killed the prophets. You're duplicating those actions. Read on.
Wherefore, ye be witnesses unto yourselves.
And this is why it says, you're a witness unto yourself. He says, because you care more about your image. You care more about how you look than actually you care about the people. You won't make decisions that elevate the people. You only make decisions that cater to your look, to your image. So therefore, you're just as guilty as those same men that killed the prophets. Read on.
That ye are the children of them.
And he said, this is the evidence that you are the children of them that what?
Which killed the prophets.
That killed the prophets. Why? Because you care more about image than you care about the people. This is the correlation that Christ is tying together. I believe Dawiyad asked earlier, is this what Christ was dealing with when he was dealing with the prophets? This is the correlation that ties the actions of the priests, the prophets, and the leaders of the city, and the elders and the rulers with the Pharisees and the Sadducees and the scribes during the time of Christ. He says their actions are the same. Read that part again.
Wherefore ye be witnesses unto yourselves that ye are the children of them which killed the prophets.
Read on.
Fill ye up then the measure of your fathers.
Then all Christ is saying is, then play your role then. Because you're just as guilty anyway as those same men that killed Jeremiah. That put all the prophets to death.
Yep.
You're just as guilty. He said, well, do your job. Don't be fake about it. Go ahead and be
the snake you are.
Be the snake. That's why he says, be serpents.
The funny thing is, you know why? Because I don't know if you've got there yet, but it talks about how you guys are the family of the ones who killed the prophets in the first place.
That's where we at.
Because the funny thing is, I don't know if you keep reading in Jeremiah, all the negative princes and negative Levites, they're all the fathers of the other negative Levites and priests that was killing men generations before. All those family lines stay locked in, and they end up being those Pharisees and Sadducees down the line.
Yep.
The same ones that was the wicked guy. Listen, it was those positions of the princes were handed down from father to son.
Yeah.
And then from son to grandson. Those positions, you sat back, the good scribes were that way. Remember the sons of Shaphan? All those men were good men that defended Jeremiah. But then you got these guys. Remember, we just talked about it earlier when one of the prophets, or the princes that had a problem with Jeremiah in Jerusalem, he told his brother about the issue that he had with Jeremiah, and his brother locked him up.
Was the captain of the war.
It was the captain of the Levites, the Levite priest in the land of Benjamin. This was a familial thing. The line of families were anti-righteous men, and they were a small group of scribes and certain men that were pro-serving the Most High. This was familial. From the time of things going bad now in the 586s to the time of Christ. I'm sorry, but keep going.
It's an unbroken chain.
Kinda.
Read on.
It was all familial.
Fill ye up then the measure of your fathers.
Go ahead.
Ye serpents.
That's why he called them what?
Ye serpents.
Then be the snakes that you are, because your forefathers were snakes too.
Kinda.
It's in your blood.
It's in your blood.
But not so much it's in your blood because you carry the same actions of your forefathers.
Yep.
You care more about your look than you actually care about the safety of the people and the condition of the people. Read on.
Ye generation of vipers.
Go ahead.
How can ye escape the damnation of Sheol?
Go ahead. You can't escape. You can't escape hell. You're not going to escape hell. Read on.
Wherefore, behold, I sent unto you prophets and wise men and scribes, and some of them ye shall kill and crucify, and some of them shall ye scourge in your synagogues.
And we know they end up putting Christ to death. We know they also put a lot of the disciples to death. The apostles. Read on.
And persecute them from city to city.
They put Stephen to death.
Yep.
Read on.
That upon you may come all the righteous blood.
And this is the point. Somebody has to pay for all the killing of the prophets.
Yep.
Somebody's got to pay for all the blood that was spilt throughout history for all the righteous men.
Yep.
Christ said, I'm going to cause all the blood and all the death to be put on your generation. You're going to pay for the blood of the prophets. Not during the time they just lost their city. They just lost Jerusalem. But nobody actually paid for killing the prophets. But Christ is saying, I'm going to bring that punishment back upon your generation. Read on.
That upon you may come all the righteous blood shed upon the earth, from the blood of the righteous Abel.
He says, I'm gonna blame even Abel's blood. When Cain killed Abel,
Yep.
remember Cain never really paid for killing Abel.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Remember, it was 7 generations of Lamech that or Tubal Cain. No, it was the sons of Melech, Tubal Cain, that said, I've slain a righteous man to my hurt. But he never paid for it. So what Christ said is, all the blood that's ever been shed on the earth for killing of all the righteous men, he said, I'm going to put it on you.
Yep.
Somebody,
your generation.
And your generation's got to pay for it. Read on.
Unto the blood of Zacharias.
Go ahead.
Son of Barakas.
Go
Listen,
ahead.
that blood of Zacharias, I was talking to Kawakawa about this, was a prophet or a righteous priest that got killed. It's in the Josephus during the time when the Pharisees and Sadducees were vying for power. There was a period of time where the last Israelite queen was in power. And she ran, it was when the Sadducees were in power and the Pharisees were vying for power. And the Pharisees were on their way of ascending beyond the Sadducees, they killed a righteous man, Zacharias. And that was literally before Christ was born and died. Is that?
Just during the time of what's his name, Alexander Janus.
It was the sister. It was the last woman, Alexandra. It was Alexandra.
His mama.
No, it was the lady. It was like the time of the last Sadducees.
It was the end of the Maccabean dynasty.
It was the end of it. Yes, it was the end.
You're talking about her name was Miriam.
No, it was Alexandra, if I'm not mistaken.
Miriam was the last surviving heir to the Hasmonean dynasty.
But it was a woman that was in power.
She was married to the Herodians. The Herodians, which are Edomites, Idumeans.
Yeah,
they married into the Hasmonean dynasty, which is the surviving heirs to the Maccabees.
It was before that.
Okay.
It was before that transition. It was a couple generations before that, and it was when I forgot the guy's name that she was married to. He died at an early age, and he was a Sadducee, and he put her in power, and she was trying to wait till her 2 sons kind of raised up and got right. One didn't want to take the responsibility, and the other one was young, and he ended up running things to the ground, and then he ended up dying. But at that era of time was when this priest got killed, and it was as the Pharisees started ascending into power, is them killing this righteous man that's being talked about right here. Just a little basic. There's more to it, but there's a lot of reading we got to get to. Eventually, we'll get to it. But let's continue. Let's keep going to your point. Let's finish this up and then go back to Jeremiah.
Whom he slew between the temple and the altar. Verse 36. Verily I say unto you, all these things shall come upon this generation.
And why not? Read on. Why is Christ saying that all this blood that's been shed throughout time is going to come upon this generation? Read verse 37.
37. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophets and stonest them which are sent unto thee. How often would I have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathereth her chickens under her wings.
It said, and you would what?
And ye would not.
So Christ is saying that all you had to do is just care for the people more than you care for yourself.
And push them towards me.
Yeah, push the people towards the Most High, but you care more for your image. You care more for your look than you cared about what's right for the people.
And maintaining their dominion and power.
Yep.
And maintaining their familial power from generation to generation.
Yep.
That was everything to them.
That's why it says you are the children of the ones that slayed the prophets. Because you got the same actions, you got the same behavior,
and you got the benefits from it.
Yep.
And it was about maintaining the family line of power versus upholding what's right.
Yep.
Because we all know that you can sit back here and be as righteous as hell like Samuel, but his sons were corrupt. You can't guarantee familiar lines to be on point like that.
Nope.
It don't work like that. But they were able to keep all these generations.
Even Aaron's sons.
They weren't righteous. Except for one.
Yep.
Or two. Ithamar and Eleazar. But come on, continue. I'm sorry.
No, that was it.
Let's go back to Jeremiah 37. No, 38. We're at 38, yes. Where are we at, sir?
Mid 22.
Let's do that.
Jeremiah 38.
No, let's get 23. We did that.
23.
Yes.
So they shall bring out all thy wives and thy children to the Chaldeans, and thou shalt not escape out of their hand, but shalt be taken by the hand of the king of Babylon, and thou shalt cause this city to be burned with fire. Then said Zedekiah unto Jeremiah, let no man know of these words, and thou shalt not die.
It's like this. That means he wasn't going to do anything about it. Let no man know of these words.
Yep. Keep it between us.
That's my point. That means he's not going to say anything. He's going to keep it in the back of his pocket, like he got all this time. He says, "Say nothing, and you won't die." Read on.
But if the princes hear that I have talked with thee, and they come unto thee, and say unto thee, declare unto us now what thou hast said unto the king, hide it not from us, and we will not put thee to death. Also what the king said unto thee.
Mm-hmm.
Then thou shalt say unto them, I presented my supplication before the king, that he would not cause me to return to Jonathan's house, to die there.
So he says, tell them you came to me and asked me not to bring you to Jonathan's house again to die. To the bad prison. Read on.
Then came all the princes unto Jeremiah and asked him, and he told them according to all these words that the king had commanded.
First of all, them princes was damn G's. They was gangsters out. What'd you talk to them about? I want to know. They looking for any angle they can do to sit back and corner Zedekiah and keep their power. They were paranoid and they were frantic. They didn't want to lose their position. And you're like, man, Jeremiah's going to get to Zedekiah. Zedekiah's soft. He going to cave. Let me box Zedekiah in. Let me box Jeremiah in. So Zedekiah said, keep the story straight. You just asked me to make sure you didn't bring him back down into the bad prison. Because Zedekiah is such anti-crime. And I'm begging him for supplication. Read on.
So they left off speaking with him, for the matter was not perceived. So Jeremiah abode in the court of the prison until the day that Jerusalem was taken. And he was there when Jerusalem was taken.
So he was in jail when everything fell apart. But he was in a regular court. He was in Genpa when everything fell apart. Okay, and he had a piece of bread a day like everybody else, and there was no more bread left. Okay, let's go to paragraph 6. Where are we in paragraph 6? Do we even read paragraph 6?
No, we left out of line 123.
Okay, let's continue.
Actually, my apologies. No, yeah, we are.
Yeah.
So we way down there, line 127, where it said, when the king heard this.
Okay.
Line 127. paragraph 6.
Yeah.
When the king heard this, he said that he would willingly do what he persuaded him to, and what he declared would be to his advantage, but that he was afraid of those of his own country that had fallen away to the Babylonians, lest he should be accused by them to the king of Babylon, and be punished. But the prophet encouraged him, and said he had no cause to fear such punishment, for that he should not have the experience of any misfortune, if he would deliver all up to the Babylonians, neither himself nor his children, nor his wives, and that the temple should then continue unhurt. So when Jeremiah had said this, the king let him go, and charged him to betray what they had resolved on to none of the citizens, nor to tell any of these matters to any of the rulers, if they should have learned that he had been sent for, and should inquire of him what it was that he was sent for, and what he had said to him, but to pretend to them that he besought him that he might not be kept in bonds and in prison. And indeed he said so to them, for they came to the prophet and asked him what advice it was that he came to give to the king relating to them. And thus I have finished what concerns this matter.
So we're going to sit back and read this last chapter to kind of go into the finality of what's happening with this besieging. Let's go to Jeremiah. Well, it's not the finality, but we're going to go more in Jeremiah 32.
39.
32.
32.
Verse 1 down.
Jeremiah 32 and 1. The word that came to Jeremiah from the Most High in the 10th year of Zedekiah, king of Judah, which was the 18th year of Nebuchadnezzar. From then the king of Babylon's army besieged Jerusalem, and Jeremiah the prophet was shut up in the court of the prison, which was in the king of Judah's house. For Zedekiah, king of Judah, had shut him up, saying, Wherefore dost thou prophesy, and say, Thus saith the Most High, Behold, I will give this city into the hand of the king of Babylon, and he shall take it.
Read on.
And Zedekiah, king of Judah, shall not escape out of the hand of the Chaldeans, but shall surely be delivered into the hand of the king of Babylon, and shall speak with him mouth to mouth, and his eyes shall behold his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And he shall lead Zedekiah to Babylon, and there shall he be until I visit him, saith the Most High. Though ye fight with the Chaldeans, ye shall not prosper.
So it's the same thing being recycled consistently. You're going to fall. Everybody's besieged. Everybody's stressed out. Right? Read on.
In verse 6. And Jeremiah said, The word of the Most High came unto me.
Well, just real quick. We're not even at the besieging part. I mean, like where everything falls apart. We'll get into that next week. There's no time we're going to get into this today. Well, we're going to get into today about how Israel thinks even when there is complete calamity surrounding us. So this is what the Most High is telling Jeremiah. Read verse 6 again.
In verse 6. And Jeremiah said, The word of the Most High came unto me, saying, Behold, Hanameel, the son of Shalom, thine uncle, shall come unto thee, saying, Buy thee my field that is in Anaroth.
Listen, he says your uncle gonna come here trying to do a business deal while you in jail. You in jail, the world's falling, and this nigga's trying to sell some land that, listen, Anathoth is damn near destroyed. We gonna try to sell some land and make some money? What good is money when there's no food? Think about that. What good is the money when there's no food? And we're being besieged by the Babylonians. This is how crazy Israel is. Huh? He said, your uncle's going to come here and he got a house. He got a brownstone in Brooklyn for you to buy. Huh? He's like, listen, your uncle's coming. And he says, read verse 7. Let's read it from the top.
Verse 7. Behold, Hanameel, the son of Shalom, thine uncle, shall come unto thee, saying, Buy thee my field that is in Anathoth, for the right of redemption is thine to buy it.
He wants you to buy so he can get his bread and spend his money how he got to spend it. You still buying and selling in this time? This is how disconnected we be sometimes. Read on.
So Hanameel, mine uncle's son, came to me in the court of the prison, according to the word of the Most High.
I'm sorry, it's the son of thy uncle. Okay, so it's a younger guy, the son of his uncle. Read verse 8 again.
Right. Verse 8. So Hanamel, my uncle's son, came to me.
So it's my nephew.
He was a cousin.
Cousin. Okay. Read on.
So Hanamel, my uncle's son, came to me in the court of the prison, according to the word of the Most High, and said unto me, Buy my fields, I pray thee, that is in Anathoth, which is in the country of Benjamin. For the right of inheritance is thine, and the redemption is thine. Buy it for thyself. Then I knew that this was the word of the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought the field of Hanamel, my uncle's son, that was in Anathoth, and weighed him the money, 17 shekels of silver. And I subscribed the evidence, and sealed it, and took witnesses, and weighed him the money in the balances.
Mm-hmm.
So I took the evidence of the purchase, both that which was sealed according to the law and custom, and that which was open. And I gave the evidence of the purchase unto Baruch, the son of Neriah, the son of Messiah, in the sight of Hanamel, mine uncle's son, and in the presence of the witnesses that subscribed the book of the purchase, before all the Jews that sat in the court of the prison.
So the Jews still did paperwork, man. The Jews did paperwork. They were organized, and they kept track of things. It wasn't willy-nilly out. And they had witnesses, signed confession, signed documentation. They weighed in front of everybody. There was witnesses across the board. Things were organized.
They had receipts.
They had receipts. They had books.
Yeah.
It was that.
Like a notary.
Yeah, it was a notary. Everything was done decently in order.
That's awesome.
Okay. Read on.
And I charged Baruch before them, saying, Thus saith the Most High of Hosts, the power of Israel. Take these evidences, this evidence of the purchase, both which is sealed, and this evidence which is open, and put them in an earthen vessel, that they may continue many days.
Mm-hmm. Meaning keep this paper so the paper doesn't get rotted out, and it can be maintained. And this is proof of purchase. Read on.
For thus saith the Most High of Hosts, the power of Israel, houses and fields and vineyards shall be possessed again.
And the Most High told him to do it, not to make money out of it or get land acquisition, but as a sign to say, listen, land and purchase will be done again. Israel will be resurfaced and established over time. Most High allowed this to happen as a sign. Read on.
Now, when I had delivered the evidence of the purchase unto Baruch the son of Neriah, I prayed unto the Most High, saying, Ah, Lord God, behold, thou hast made the heaven and the earth by thy great power, and stretched out arm, and there is nothing too hard for thee. Thou showest loving kindness unto thousands, and recompensest the iniquity of the fathers into the bosom of their children after them. The mighty power of Israel, of hosts, is his name. Great in counsel and mighty in work, for thine eyes are open upon all the ways of the sons of men, to give everyone according to his ways, and according to the fruit of his doings, which has set signs and wonders in the land of Egypt, even unto this day, and in Israel, and among other men, and has made thee a name as at this day, and hast brought forth thy people Israel out of the land of Egypt with signs, and with wonders, and with a strong hand, and with a stretched out arm, and with great terror, and hast given them this land, which thou didst swear to their fathers, to give them, a land flowing with milk and honey. And they came in and possessed it, but they obeyed not thy voice, neither walked in thy Torah. They have done nothing at all that thou commandest them to do. Therefore, thou hast caused all this evil to come upon them. 24. Behold, the mounts, they are come upon this, they have come unto the city to take it. And the city is given into the hand of the Chaldeans that fight against it, because of the sword, and of the famine, and of the pestilence. And what thou hast spoken is come to pass, and behold, thou seest it. And thou hast said unto me, O power, buy thee the field for money, and take witnesses, for the city is given into the hand of the Chaldeans.
He says the Chaldeans have the land, but I still want you to go through with the purchase, because there is hope that down the line they will be buying and purchasing, and Israel will move on from this experience. Read on.
Then came the word of Yahweh unto Jeremiah, saying, Behold, I am the power I am the power and God of all flesh. And there, anything, Salakia. Behold, I am the power and God of all flesh. Is there anything too hard for me? Therefore, thus saith the Most High, behold, I will give this city into the hand of the Chaldeans, and into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and he shall take it. And the Chaldeans that fight against this city shall come and set fire on this city, and burn it with the houses, upon whose roofs they have offered incense unto Baal, and poured out drink offerings unto other gods, to provoke me to anger. For the children of Israel and the children of Judah have only done evil before me from their youth. For the children of Israel have only provoked me to anger with the work of their hands, saith the Most High.
And this is what you go to Lamentations chapter go to Lamentations chapter 3 verse 55. This is actually what Jeremiah was praying for when he was getting afflicted unjustly. Is he was praying for this this recompense upon the children of Israel. Lamentations chapter 3 verse 55. Read that.
God. Lamentations 3 and 55. I called upon thy name, O Yahweh.
So this is Jeremiah. Read.
Out of the low dungeon.
Well, what was Jeremiah doing in the dungeon?
Praying.
He was praying, man. He was praying, calling. That's when you're in a situation where you can't control and you stuck in hell. You got to get your prayer on.
No doubt.
So that's what Jeremiah was doing. But what was he praying while he was in the dungeon? Go ahead.
Thou hast heard my voice. Hide not thine ear at my breathing, at my cry. Thou drewest near in the day that I called upon thee. Thou saidest, fear not.
Yep.
So he was getting confirmation from the Most High that it's going to be okay while he was in the mire.
And he's praying. Said, remember when I sat back here in Jeremiah 1, you assured me you was going to be with me.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You need them guarantees.
You need to remember those guarantees, those scenarios.
You need to remember that when you're in a bad situation, that the Most High didn't leave you. Read on.
O Yahweh, thou hast seen my wrong. Judge thou my case.
My cause. Mm-hmm.
My cause. Thou hast seen all their vengeance and all their imaginations against me. Thou hast heard their reproach, O Yahweh, and all their imaginations against me. The lips of those that rose up against me, and their device against me all the day.
They said I was fleeing to the Chaldeans. He said they was talking against me the whole time. Read on.
Behold, they're sitting down, and they're rising up. I am their music.
Go ahead.
Render unto them a recompense.
He said, I'm their entertainment.
Yeah, I'm entertainment. He said that's what he said. They enjoy that I'm in a bad situation.
Yeah, bro.
That gives them a little stimulation.
Yep.
Satisfaction. So he said, render unto them what?
A recompense.
So Jeremiah was paying for those princes to get payback from the Most High for how they dealt with him while he was in the dungeon.
God, bro.
He said, render unto them a payback. Read on.
O Yahweh, according to the work of their hands, give them sorrow of heart.
He said, let them feel what I feel. Let them feel like I've been feeling this whole time in this dungeon.
And they are. They're going to.
And now
they're about to.
Now it's coming. His prayers being answered.
They're about to. God.
Yep. Read.
Thy curse unto them.
He said, thy curse unto them. Go ahead.
Persecute and destroy them in anger from under the heavens of the Most High.
So Jeremiah was pissed, man, when he was in that damn dungeon.
God.
He was praying for revenge, and the Most High was on the verge of giving it to him. You can go back to 2032.
Okay. So once again, as a reminder, Jeremiah bounces. None of these chapters are really lined up chronologically.
Yeah.
You're not going to get it that way. So we were in the late 30s. Now we're in the early 30s. That's just what it is. Okay. So where are we at in Jeremiah 32?
31.
Okay. In 31? Okay. Read on.
For this city hath been to me as a provocation of mine anger and of my fury from the day that they built it, even unto this day, that I should remove it from before my face. Because of all the evil of the children of Israel and the children of Judah, which they have done to provoke me to anger, they, their kings, their princes, their priests, and their prophets, and the men of Judah, and the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And they have turned unto me the back, and not the face. Though I taught them, rising up early and teaching them. Yet they have not hearkened.
So he says all of this pestilence and this death and this starvation and famine is justified because they kept turning their back on the Heavenly Father and not the face, not embracing the lesson and listening. Read on.
And when somebody does that, when somebody turns their back but not the face, that means that as soon as you stop talking, they're leaving.
Yep.
They'll give you their attention because you're talking, but their body's already going another direction. So that means as soon as you stop talking, I'm going proceeding on with the direction that I had in mind the first time. That means I have no desire to keep or execute what you was telling me in the future. As soon as you're done talking, I'm out.
Yep.
And that's how we deal with the Most High. Go ahead.
No doubt.
Yet they have not hearkened to receive instruction, but they set their abominations in the house, which is called by my name, to defile it. And they built the high places of Baal, which are in the valley of the son of Hinnom, to cause their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire unto Moloch, which I commanded them not, neither came it into my mind that they should do this abomination to cause Judah to sin. And now therefore, thus saith the Most High, the power of Israel, concerning the city. Wherefore, ye say, it shall be delivered into the hand of the king of Babylon by the sword, and by the famine, and by the pestilence. Behold, I will gather them out of all countries, whither I have driven them in mine anger, and in my fury, and in my great wrath. And I will bring them again unto this place, and I will cause them to dwell safely. And they shall be my people, and I will be their power.
The funny thing is, the Most High is trying to give some comforting words during this besieging scenario, but all he can promise them is after this 70 years of hell, I'm going to come back and work with you. And a lot of times, even when we sit back here and we're praying to the Most High, sometimes we have to just deal with the consequence of our actions and know that after we get the sting of our actions, he's not going to give up on us. That's consolation if we look at it the right way. We still have to pay the piper. They got to pay the piper. They got to pay the piper. He's just saying after you pay the piper, life will continue. Land will be bought. Lives will be had. Children will be had. You guys will get reestablished back in the nation. But until then, you're going to feel this. Because I told you not to serve Moloch, and you should have listened. You should listen to my prophets, and you didn't do it. Read on.
And I will give them one heart in one way, that they may fear me forever, for the good of them and of their children after them. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them, that I will not turn away from them.
The funny thing is he's going in the future. This is future prophecy here. This ain't even like when we got back to damn Jerusalem. That was a temporary up. He said an everlasting covenant. He gonna change our heart? We didn't change. We haven't even changed our heart yet. He ain't took that fleshy heart out of us. He hasn't taken that stony heart out of us yet. That's when Christ comes back. Exactly. We're waiting for that now. Read on. Give me verse 40. Yeah.
From the top. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them, that I will not turn away from them, to do them good. But I will put my fear in their hearts, that they shall not depart from me.
And that's what we're waiting for. It's for him to put his fear into our hearts. It's to learn how to have a fleshy heart. Because for all these generations, we never did. And you take this and read Esdras, you read that he never took that from us. From the beginning, from the time of Egypt, we never got taken away that fleshy heart.
The stony heart.
That stony heart. Oh, that's what I mean, the stony heart, yeah. He never took that away from us. That's going to happen when he comes back, which might be sooner than later. Read on.
Yea, I will rejoice over them, to do them good, and I will plant them in this land assuredly, with my whole heart and with my whole soul. For thus saith the Most High, like as I have brought all this great evil upon this people, so will I bring upon them all the good that I have promised them.
There is hope. Read on.
And fields shall be brought in this land. And fields shall be bought in this land. Wherefore ye say, it is desolate, without man or beast, but it is given into the hand of the Chaldeans.
It ain't like the Chaldeans wanted to inhabit it. They just ransacked it. They kept, you're going to read next week, they kept the poor to work the land, to sit back and send the produce back home to Babylon. But everybody else got sent out. So it was bare. It was empty. Okay, read on.
Men shall buy fields for money, and subscribe evidences, and seal them, and take witnesses in the land of Benjamin, and in the places about Jerusalem, and in the cities of Judah, and in the cities of the mountains, and in the cities of the valley, and in the cities of the south. For I will cause their captivity to return. I will cause their captivity to return, saith the Most High.
Mm-hmm. So listen, we're going to leave it at that. We're going to go into the actual collapse next week and go into when everything completely fell apart and the construction after that and what was done immediately after that situation. And once we get through that class next week, then we're going to go on to Daniel's. We go on to Daniel's, and there's 12 chapters in Daniel's. We're going to try to get at least 10 of them and go on to just some of the prophecies and some of the history with Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and the experience he went through serving the Most High while he was in Babylon. And then we'll go from there and go into Reconstruction, Esther, Nehemiah, some of Esdras, so forth and so on. All right? Any questions? So, with that, Amajim, Wapunya, Yerah Shalom.
Stand and face Jerusalem.
Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh.
Please listen to us right now.
Please listen to us right now.
Send Michael.
Send Michael.
And the righteous angels.
And the righteous angels.
To watch over.
To watch over.
Bless.
Bless.
Heal.
Heal.
Protect.
Protect.
And make strong.
And make strong.
The people of Yasharallah.
People of Yasharallah.
Also send unto us.
Also send unto us.
Much wisdom.
Much wisdom.
Much knowledge.
Much knowledge.
Much understanding.
Much understanding.
Much patience.
Much patience.
Much faith.
Much faith.
Much brotherhood.
Much brotherhood.
And much love.
And much love.
Spiritual power.
Spiritual power.
And forgive all of our sins.
And forgive all of our sins.
Yahweh shall come quickly.
Yahweh shall come quickly.
For in thee.
For in thee
is our hope.
Is our hope.
Always.
Always.
And forever.
And forever.
Amen.
Amen.
Birthday, how about Shem Yahshai?
Birthday, how about Shem Yahshai? Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh that gives us the law.
Birthday, how about Shem Yahshai?
Birthday, how about Shem Yahshai? Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh that gives us the light to see.
Birthday, how about Shem Yahshai?
Birthday, how about Shem Yahshai? Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh that gives us the ram throne to call the people.
Birthday, how about Shem Yahshai?
Birthday, how about Shem Yahshai?
Shaman, Zayat, Lamashah, Yasharallah.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh that gives us the olive oil to anoint Israel.
Psalms 92. It is a good thing to give thanks unto the Lord.
It is a good thing to give thanks unto the Lord.
And to sing praise unto thy name.
And to sing praise unto thy name.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
To show forth thy loving kindness in the morning.
To show forth thy loving kindness in the morning.
And thy faithfulness every night.
And thy faithfulness every night.
Upon an instrument of 10 strings.
Upon an instrument of 10 strings.
And upon the psaltery.
And upon the psaltery.
Upon the harp.
Upon the harp.
With the solemn sound.
With the solemn sound.
For thou Yahweh.
For thou Yahweh.
Hast made me glad through thy work.
Has made me glad through thy work.
I will triumph.
I will triumph.
In the works of thy hands.
In the works of thy hands.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
How great are thy works.
How great are thy works.
And thy thoughts are very deep.
And thy thoughts are very deep.
A brutish man knoweth not.
A brutish man knoweth not.
Neither doth the fool understand this.
Neither doth the fool understand this.
When the wicked spring is the grass.
When the wicked spring is the grass.
And when all the workers of iniquity do flourish.
And when all the workers of iniquity do flourish.
It is that they shall be destroyed forever.
It is that they shall be destroyed forever.
But thou Yahweh.
But thou Yahweh.
Art most high forevermore.
Art most high forevermore.
For lo, thine enemies.
For lo, thine enemies.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
For lo, thine enemies.
For lo, thine enemies.
Shall perish.
Shall perish.
All the workers of iniquity.
All the workers of iniquity.
Shall be scattered.
Shall be scattered.
But my horn shalt thou exalt.
But my horn shalt thou exalt.
Like the horn of a unicorn.
Like the horn of a unicorn.
I shall be anointed with fresh oil.
I shall be anointed with fresh oil.
Mine eye also shall see.
Mine eye also shall see.
My desire.
My desire.
On my enemies.
On mine enemies.
And my ears shall hear.
And my ears shall hear.
My desire.
My desire.
Of the wicked.
Of the wicked.
That rise up against me.
That rise up against me.
The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree.
The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree.
He shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon.
He shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon.
Those that be planted in the house of the Lord.
Those that be planted in the house of the Lord.
Shall flourish in the courts of our power.
Shall flourish in the courts of our power.
They shall still bring forth fruit in old age.
They shall still bring forth fruit in old age.
They shall be fat and flourishing.
They shall be fat and flourishing.
To show that the Lord is upright.
To show that the Lord is upright.
He is my rock.
He is my rock.
And there is no unrighteousness in him.
And there is no unrighteousness in him.
By Hashem Yahushua.
By Hashem Yahushua.
Psalms 133. Shayar.
Shayar.
Hamayawa.
Hamayawa.
Laduad.
Laduad.
Hana.
Hana.
Ma. Tawab.
Tawab.
Wama.
Wama.
Na'ayam.
Na'ayam.
Shabbat.
Shabbat.
Akim.
Akim.
Gum.
Gum.
Yachad.
Yachad.
Kashaman.
Kashaman.
Hatawab.
Hatawab.
Ayo.
Ayo.
Harash.
Harash.
Yarad.
Yarad.
Ayo.
Ayo.
Hazaquad.
Hazaquad.
Zaquad.
Zaquad.
Aharan.
Aharan.
Shayarad.
Shayarad.
Ayo.
Ayo.
Paya.
Paya.
Manawafiwa.
Manawafiwa.
Katal.
Katal.
Karamwan.
Karamwan.
Shayarad.
Shayarad.
Ayo.
Ayo.
Haroria.
Haroria.
Tazayawan.
Tazayawan.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Sham.
Sham.
Tazawat.
Tazawat.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Habaraka.
Habaraka.
Chayayim.
Chayayim.
Ay.
Hawala. Hawala.
Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Ba'ashem Yahushua. Psalms 133 in English. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirt of his garments, as the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion. For there the Lord commanded the blessing, even life evermore. Amen.
Amen. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Rakhnao.
Rakhnao.
Washwali.
Washwali.
Wabiyath.
Wabiyath.
Support.
Support.
Turn. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Rakhnao.
Rakhnao.
Washwali.
Washwali.
Wabiyath.
Wabiyath.
Support.
Support.
Turn. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Rakhnao.
Rakhnao.
Washwali.
Washwali.
Wabiyath.
Wabiyath.
Support.
Support.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Rakhnao.
Rakhnao.
Washwali.
Washwali.
Wabiyath.
Wabiyath.
Support.
Support.
Barak Yahweh.
Barak Yahweh.
Barak Yahushua.
Barak Yahushua.
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 All knowledge.
All knowledge.
All wisdom.
All wisdom.
All understanding.
All understanding.
All mercy.
All mercy.
All peace.
All peace.
All long suffering.
All long suffering.
All love.
All love.
All power.
All power.
Is from your house.
From your house.
All power.
All power.
Is from your house.
From your house.
All power.
All power.
Is from your house.
From your house.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
The water.
The water.
Yat.
Yat.
Aman.
Amen.
Got you today.
Saluting out in the heavenly order, Yahweh, Vaya Shaya, Akum Shiala, Menavision, Amajam, Barak,
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Rakatam.
Kumyashal,
Kodeshah. Kodeshah. Kodeshah.
Turn and face your sister.
Yashmata.
Yaman Shatap. Turn and face your sister. Sisters, please stand. Whenever on Shabbat. Saluting out the daughters of Zion, Menavision, Amajam, Barak.
Yahweh Shema Rakatam Ba'ashem Yahushua. Yashmata. Dismiss. Hold up. All right, Israel, throw it to an end. See y'all on Monday.